Welcome one and all to session 3 of the Lost Mountain Saga. Now, thus far we have begun our adventures. It started out in the town of Falun. We were invited by a man named Franzibald Hansen to join him there. There was a Reverend Bruselius that seemed to be on a mission to root out evil in the town, but we came to discover that much of that evil was brought by himself, as we found that he had burned his recently deceased child alive and buried the bones in a mine. And then we also discovered that his young wife had suffocated that child. And it rose as a Vaesen, a myling, which wreaked havoc on the town, and two of our numbers, Freya and Ilsa, were nearly burned at the stake, but in a fortuitous stroke, Dagmar happened to be burying the bones of that child in an old church in Falun, which was what was needed to dispel the spirit of that Vaesen and put it to rest. But not before it had immolated Reverend Bruselius with magical fire. And then we went looking for Franzibald Hansen, and we found him, or at least his severed head, in the grasp of a young girl named Lisa Johansson, who was... Something strange had happened to her. She looked otherworldly, and she was wearing Franzibald's glowing green necklace around her neck, holding his severed head, and then there was a blinding flash of green light, and she was gone. We returned back to the castle, and while we were there, we were met by Franzibald's butler and significant other, Bjorn, and Bjorn gave us an invitation to a ball in Uppsala, and he said they must not know what happened to Franzibald, otherwise they wouldn't have sent it, but since we are associates of Franzibald, he felt it was only appropriate that we go in his stead. And the purpose of this ball was to meet, or to hear, of the academic findings of the Magnussons, Carl and Sigrid, who had recently reopened the Abisko mine under the management of the Svea Mining Corporation, that they had something new and breakthrough they wanted to discuss, and the heads of academia and business and government were invited to this ball. And we are just about to go to the ball, but we had some time to go and poke around a little bit. We went to visit our matron of the society, Linnea, at the asylum, and we found the asylum was just packed and just full of people, and it seemed as though many of these people were employees of the Svea Mining Corporation who had been working on the Abisko mine. And Linnea told us that they did not have the sight like we did, which we had gained from a violent encounter, a trauma that involved a Vaesen, but they had somehow seen Vaesen without having the sight. And this was deemed as insanity by the medical staff of the Svea Mining Corp. Of course, it's a corporate doctor. He's going to say what the company line is supposed to be. And these people were hospitalized in this asylum. And many of them were not crazy, but they were treated as such. And one of the people there was a young author named Amanda, and she was an ally of Franzibald, and she had tried to expose some of what was going on with the Magnussons, with the Svea Mining Corp, and as a result, she was thrown into the asylum as well. And when she heard that Franzibald had died, she thought that all hope was gone with his loss. We went to Franzibald's office in Uppsala at the end of our last session, and we were trying to find his notes. Bjorn had invited us to make use of his notes, that perhaps we could continue his research at some point. And so we poked around in his office, and we found a secret passageway behind a bookcase. And going down there, we had a a brief encounter with a new type of Vaesen, a Vaetir, a young, small, diminutive, looked like a small animal crossed with, a humanoid shape. This one was kind of like a toad or a lizard. His name was Horn, and his wife, that looked like some sort of hedgehog, was Toss. And they were more than willing to help us. And we learned from these Vaetir that they were allied with Franzibald. And they showed us where his lockbox was kept. And inside the lockbox, we found several things. We found we found several small stones that had a greenish tint, but less bright than the one that Franzibald carried around his neck. We also discovered his notebook that was full of scribbles, notes, and various theories about the stones that he had been gathering for years. The notebook also mentioned some organization called the Vanadisir, and we had no idea what that was despite our attempts to find that information. But it was mentioned several times, and this note suggested that perhaps Sigrid Magnusson was a member of the Vanadisir. We also found, in the notebook, it mentioned that Vaesen were attracted to the light of the gemstone that he had about his neck, and that the stone would activate whenever one was near, would glow in the presence of a Vaesen. And the stone seemed almost biological. There was a reference in an old ballad that spake of a titanic truth, that the stones held the powers of creation of both man and Vaesen. And he lost sleep over this and realized that other people did not understand the consequences or the import of this information, and that humans were not meant to discover these things, that these stones were binding the unseen world of the Vaesen with our own. And he felt that the mining operations in the north must be stopped, and that he was being followed and should hide his research. And that is where we left off. We've got about an hour before the ball, and we have this new information that we have gathered. How do we act upon it?
All carry a stone in our pockets or something, and then try to see if we get a chance to look at one when Sigrid's around, and see if we can find out if she's truly a Vanadisir.
Excellent idea.
Hmm.
We would have to do it so carefully, because if someone sees us do it, they will know that we are up to something.
Especially if the stones give off light.
Ooh, yeah.
That may become apparent.
Okay.
Freya, as the resident academic, you were not able to recall any information on the Vanadisir, despite your attempts to do this. How does that sit with Freya, knowing that there's this key piece of information that it's at the tip of her consciousness, but she can't quite pull it out, can't quite discover this?
I mean, I think she's definitely, frustrated, probably really annoyed at herself. Oh wow, I already have 3 mental conditions. I mean, yeah, I think she's not doing too well, especially coming off of, almost getting burned at the stake last time. I feel like she's maybe just trying to do the thing where she's troubleshooting possible things that could go wrong at the ball, and how to try to fix them. Not really focusing too much on the actual problem that she's having, but trying to troubleshoot or problem solve for something else.
Right.
So she's kind of just brooding in the corner, basically.
Nice.
Can Dagmar try to take her out into the garden to have a little walk and talk, and
Absolutely.
perhaps cheer her up a little bit? Maybe bring Ilsa along as well.
let's roleplay that real quick. This will be awesome. So as you take her out of this darkness, the two Vaetir, Horn and just spaced on the other one's name.
Toss.
Toss, yes, Horn and Toss. They seem to take notice of Freya's mental state, that you seem on edge, like you are presently angry, frightened, and hopeless, and they sense that you are on the cusp of breaking down. And they whisper to one another, and Toss goes into this small little crook in the stone wall, and you can see that it's an entrance into another room large enough for the Vaetir to pass through. And she comes out a few moments later with a small teacup. This is no larger than a thimble to you, but this would be fit for a Vaetir. And she holds it up, offering it. Her hands are somewhat trembling, as though she has some nervousness about her upon offering this to you. You have just met her, but it seems to be a friendly gesture. If you want to make a vigilance roll, if you are at all suspicious that she might be trying to cause you harm, you can do that.
No, I mean, they're allies of Franzbald,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't think she is suspicious.
Do you accept the tea?
Yeah.
It's piping hot. It's about, a shot of tea, but it's very, very mellow. And there's a hint of lemon in there and some sort of flowery fragrance to it. You can't quite place it. It's almost like something familiar yet something distant as well. And it reminds you of this information on the Vanadisir. It's right there, but I can't extract it. And as you drink this tea, you feel a sense of calm and coolness descend over you. And then Toss leads you up out of the this little hidden laboratory or study down here, and shows you to Franzbald's beautiful garden. And there's a little bench out there. There's some overhanging vines. It's very quiet, very peaceful. And if the 2 or 3 of you would like to go out there and have a talk, this would be a peaceful place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't realise we hadn't gone back to the castle. So yes, anywhere where we can maybe perhaps both link our arms with Freya and just walk along quietly and gently with her, and maybe Dagmar's just going to chatter a little bit about how much fun the ball's going to be, and and how much information we're going to find there, and we're going to learn everything, and how clever Freya is, and so on.
And Ilsa, are you with them?
Yeah, I think I would go with them.
Do you have anything that you want to add, or anything that you would say to Freya? You've both shared some trauma in the last session. How does that situation, this would have been just a few weeks ago, how does that come into play now when you see her struggling under the emotional weight of what has happened?
Definitely, yeah. I think I would just add on to what Dagmar is saying, and I would tell her, I can see that this is really difficult for you, not being able to have all the answers, but, I know that when we need you, you're always there, and you're always going to help us, just like you helped me, and I wouldn't have gotten out of that old Russian church if it wasn't for you. So just know that you're important to all of us, and we know that you can do, whatever.
And Freya, you feel something brushing on your leg, and you look down, and it's Crust. And Crust is making little figure 8s between your ankles. And
he's purring.
And as an academic, he's probably marking his scent on me. He's rubbing his cheeks on me. He's marking me. But you also know that that's because he likes you. He wants you to be part of his world. So he's rubbing his scent upon your legs in a comforting gesture. And you may recover from 2 mental conditions.
Woo.
Good job, everyone.
Thank you. Yay.
While this is going on, what are Nigel and Lord Montgomery doing?
I think that perhaps this calls for some contemplation. Nigel, perhaps you'd like to prepare us a spot of tea, yes, that we might think properly. I suspect you have your field kitchen with you, good sir.
Of course, as always, my lord.
Yes, I'll have 2 sugars with mine, please.
Naturally, he's already added. You always have the field kitchen with you. Yes, a nice cup always helps the mind.
Now, does he like his tea steeped for a long time, or is he just 2 or 3 dunks and a stir with a spoon and then get rid of the tea bag sort of drinker? How do you make his tea?
It's a very a long process to get Lord Montgomery's tea to perfection. It takes an expert hand like Nigel's.
In fact, do you set a timer? Like, maybe you have a little hourglass that you turn over as his tea is steeping, and you know that 2 seconds less or 2 seconds more, and he'll throw it out like dishwater.
It's exactly what I'm imagining. It's a ritual.
Nice. The Japanese got nothing on Lord Montgomery's tea ceremony. You preheat the vessel with some hot water so that it doesn't cool down his tea, and maybe you rub the rim with some rose hips or something. I mean, it's as elaborate as you want, but you go through this, and it actually brings you some comfort to be of service to Lord Montgomery, and you know that his well-being is tied to your own sense of well-being as you prepare this tea. Does he permit you to share a cup of tea with him, or would that something that would not be even considered between the two of you? What is your relationship like?
Well, I don't imagine it's frequent, but it sounded like he was inviting him just now, and I imagine every now and then when the time calls for it, they might share a tea and consult.
Yes, of course, down here there's no need to keep up appearances.
As you drink your tea, you know you have this ball that's coming up in short order, within just less than an hour. You've been to balls before, and both of you have, as in your capacity. Do you make any specific preparations before the ball?
It's a good question. Nigel's almost thinking it's very easy to just be a butler at a ball and just walk around and nobody even looks twice at you. So it might be useful to get like something for drinks to pose as a bit of a staff. I don't know. You never know what you're going to overhear.
Yeah, you would be well positioned to overhear many conversations because you are nigh invisible as a servant at this ball. Is that the approach you want to take? Are you going to, go into Ninja Nigel mode and try and get as much sneaky information as you can during the ball, or are you going to attend to Lord Montgomery the entire time and not leave his side?
And I think that's probably what the discussion over their tea is about. Nigel asking permission, because of course I would not wish to, be of disservice to my lord.
Oh, no, of course not. I plan to retire early anyhow. This is crucial information, and I expect that you shall be adequate at finding it.
So, I'll do my best, my lord.
So
good.
You've all spent about 15 minutes having tea, relaxing in the garden. Perhaps Nigel and Montgomery are in the drawing room, the Frenzbald's small tea room. Maybe he has a tea room in his apartment. Montgomery, as the wealthy aristocrat of the group, you've got 3 women that will be accompanying you. Is there anything that you need to do for their sakes? Are they adequately prepared or clothed for this? I believe Dagmar went and got a fancy set of clothes last time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Bjorn has clothed me. I'm sure he would have
Yes.
clothed everybody if we'd needed it.
Would I mean, Freya and Ilsa, in their pictures, they're both wearing black. Would you still be wearing black, or would you choose something more flashy for the ball?
I definitely think I would go with something that would help me blend into this society for the ball.
Do you wear makeup?
Oh, whatever it takes.
What about Freya?
The ball is happening at a university, right?
Yes. Yep. So there will be a lot of academics there, and you may even know some.
Yeah. Does the school, I would imagine Freya, whatever like the school's colors are, if they have school colors over there, she probably wears those.
Yeah, probably red and green. Red for Sweden, green for the trees. It looks very Christmassy most
very
of the time, but yeah.
Okay.
So would you wear a red dress or a green dress with like the accompanying sash, or?
Ooh, maybe. I think green will stick out less, so she'll probably wear a green dress with like red jewelry or like accents or something.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Is there anything that you all want to do before you head to the ball?
Before we leave Franzibald's, his apartment, I would like to take with us his books on the occult to maybe study up on those.
Yeah, he won't need them anymore. And
unfortunately.
You're sure that Bjorn would not mind at all if they were donated to the society. Franzibald was a member of the society, and there's no better place to leave his books. Bjorn, there's probably some things that Bjorn would want for himself. He was more than a butler to Franzibald, but his academic books he would be more than happy to donate. He has several books that you have likely looked at before but never really been able to study because you didn't own them. You've just glanced through some pages at a bookstore or at the university. But now you have the opportunity to take them back to the castle and have them for your use. One advantage to that is that at the end of this session, one of the development points for the castle is, did you bring back some books? And so that's actually going to give you a point in the development of the castle. So well done there.
Perfect.
Let's go ahead and let's go to the ball. Now, the ball. When you arrive, you enter through the massive doors to this new, impressive building. There's an orchestra playing a famous waltz, yet no one is dancing. Instead, clusters of men in tuxedos and women in expensive sequined gowns are scattered all over, engaging in intense discussions about their particular fields. Languages from all across the world can be heard, with German, English, Chinese, and French most prevalent. The excitement is electrifying, bordering on explosive. Eagerness mixed with anxiety covers the faces of every guest as they eye the stage, still empty. There are nearly 900 people in attendance. There are footmen everywhere. Basically everyone else's Nigel is there. And there are servants there that are bringing Swedish hors d'oeuvres, which would of course be pickled herring. And you're welcome to dance, to mingle, or just stand and observe as everything unfolds. Let's start with Dagmar. What is Dagmar doing?
Yeah. So Dagmar, I think, is wearing something fairly light, like a more of a child's dress with sort of maybe little flowers or something on it.
Are you trying to not sexualize yourself at all?
Absolutely. She's dressed like a child. Her hair is down. It's in a pretty style that Ilsa and Freya helped her with, but it is down to show that she is a child, and nobody else is dancing, but Dagmar is going to dance. So just like that one kid at the wedding or whatever that's always up there dancing even before anybody else gets up. So she's practicing all those little moves they gave her, and she's dancing around, and she's hoping that by being so mobile and somewhat out of place here with all the adults, that she is going to draw a lot of eyes towards her.
Absolutely. Now,
keep them off her friends.
Did you bring Blix to the ball?
Oh, I think I did. And so he's running around my feet, occasionally yapping as well.
Does he have anything special on, like a special collar or a little bow tie or something?
Absolutely, a silk bow tied with like a big sort of a bow on the back of his neck.
Awesome. And Nigel probably gave him a good brush down, cleaned his teeth, got him. He looks fantastic, and he probably hates it. He's probably scratching, trying to, get the bow off. But you go out. You're having a wonderful time. Give me a manipulation roll with one bonus die to see how well you capture the attention of everyone there.
Look at that,
Ooh.
ripped off.
So much like the child at the wedding, if you don't push that, they're going to be like, "Oh, who brought their kid? Why can't adults have nice things?" Do you want to push that?
What they're thinking. Yeah, it's making me angry that no one's paying any attention to me. So I'm going to try again. Look at me! That does not want me to succeed.
You bump
7.
into a waiter and he spills a tray of drinks.
I didn't give myself the extra 1. Can I try?
Oh yeah. Yep. Do that again.
Just roll. Well, no, I'll just try one more.
Just roll one die. If you get a 6 on that one.
Do I? Oh, I don't even know how to do roll one dice.
I can probably do it for you. It's /r space 1d6 in the chat. And there you go. So you bump into this waiter, and the tray topples for a moment, and then he grabs it and holds it, and everyone turns and looks at you. And the waiter gives you a little smile and a bow, and then backs away from you very carefully, but not taking his eyes off of you. While you've got everyone's attention, they really start to take notice more of Blix, and some of the women. At first, they were a little bit irritated that, who brought this young person? But then they see this cute little pup, and he's actually dancing a little waltz with you, doing 3 steps and a little twirl, and it's just enchanting. And your near faux pas is all but forgotten, and this buys an opportunity for the others to maybe inject themselves in a more subtle way into the crowd. Let's go to Ilsa. What do you do while Dagmar is out dancing?
Well, I think while the attention is turned on her, I'll try to slip into the crowd and just make myself one with the crowd.
You find a group of younger people, probably students, maybe graduate students. They're not, old, gray-haired. They're a little bit more closer to your age, and you're just drawn to them because you can relate to them. And give me a manipulation roll as you maybe introduce yourself or speak up. And do you have Crust with you?
I think I would have left Crust at the castle. He's not one for big crowds.
No, it's more of an introverted cat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, excellent. So you bump into a few of these students, and one of them mentions that there's talk in their class and in their social circles. There's talk of a mineral or a gemstone of some sort that the world has never seen before, and that has only been found in some parts of Sweden. And this could be huge for economic growth if it is as powerful as rumors claim. If this is something that everyone will want but is only found in Sweden, just think you could set the price at whatever you want, and the demand would be through the roof.
A green gemstone, perhaps?
Well, we haven't heard about what color it might be, but just some sort of rare mineral or gemstone.
I see.
Said to have scientific properties.
I see.
Freya, what are you doing here at the ball?
I think maybe Freya. I think it would be probably fairly easy to find maybe like who the head of like, you know, an academic department or something is. Someone with ties to the university. I think she's probably like seeking them out.
In fact, you would probably know them, so you don't even need to make a roll for this. You would know some of the people in attendance. You see it's the wife of one of your old professors, and he is retired, but he still has been invited here, and you're friendly with his wife, and she pulls you aside, and after a little bit of small talk, she tells you that Sigrid Magnusson, the new wife of Carl Magnusson, she was initially betrothed to Carl's son, Richard, but the boy died during military training, and Carl married her instead. So he arranged for a marriage of this woman to his son, and after the son died, he said, well, I'll marry her myself. Now,
Creepy.
Carl's previous wife and Richard's mother disappeared a long time ago. No one really knows why or how, but this man is in his 50s, and this wife has to be only 17 or 18 years old.
Oh.
And most of the talk centers around that. It's a little bit scandalous.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, it doesn't sit well, does it?
No, there's something up there. In fact, she is quite peculiar. She comes from no prominent family, and no one had heard of her before the acquisition of the old Abisko mine. However, everyone who meets her says she is a very brilliant geologist, despite her young age.
Oh, have you gotten to speak with her?
Well, no, but through mutual acquaintances, I'm hoping to actually meet her tonight. She is giving the speech tonight.
Ooh, do you know what the topic is?
Yes, it's some sort of find in the Abisko mine. I think it's gold, something very valuable. There's a great deal of excitement. My husband, however, thinks it's something more with a military aspect. Perhaps some rare isotope that can be used for military purposes. If Sweden wants to be a power on the world stage, unfortunately, this is what the politicians will use.
And they're having a child give a talk on this potential military weapon?
Well, apparently she's some prodigy, and she is very charismatic, and, well, no one wants to hear Carl talk. He's old, and honestly, he drinks. But his young wife is supposedly quite persuasive. And then let's turn to Montgomery and Nigel. Before Montgomery even walks in, Nigel probably produces the little card of introductions, hands it to someone there that's announcing people, and he announces Lord Montgomery using his full name and titles, which takes about 30 seconds to get through it. And a few people turn and look expectantly, but most people hear an English lord, they could care less, and they don't even bother to look. But there are a few that turn to recognize him, and these would be more of the aristocrats of Sweden and Germany and France, less so the scientists. But the aristocrats turn to see Lord Montgomery, and as you walk in, Montgomery, do you and Nigel part ways?
I think that would be fine by me.
And then what do you do, Montgomery? Do you go and you head straight to the bar? Do you go speak with some people?
I think that, rather I will stride right up to the host and make my greetings to Carl.
Carl's not out here at the moment. He is in another room. He will be out shortly, they say. If you ask around, oh, Carl's not here yet. He'll be out soon. Just have a drink, why don't you? And you see that
Well, you don't have to tell me twice. And I will.
You got
head
two
over to the
glasses,
bar.
one in each hand. The crowd, it's a mix of old and young, noble and middle class, and most are there for the same reason. They want to find out what the University of Uppsala might have discovered and how they can be a part of it. The social elite, dressed in the latest expensive French fashions, are keeping mostly to themselves and to other people with money. But then, keeping together in another group, you've got the scientists and researchers, with a few students that have been fortunate enough to get an invitation. I'm going to assume you're going to hang out with the aristocrats, or do you try to meet some of the scientists? You see that Freya is already making some inroads with that crowd.
No, not my crowd. No, I will acquire my drink, and then I will join my fellow aristocrats, that we might discuss more important matters.
Do you ask about Carl Magnusson? Do you try to get a feel for him?
Certainly, I will ask where my good friend is. I wish to speak with him.
Give me a manipulation roll to do that.
And I assume these people have now heard of me.
Oh, yeah, they heard your introduction. They definitely would know who you are. Oh, nice. Excellent. Oh, yes. Coral. Good fellow. Typical Swedish aristocracy. He's, well, he bought that old mine, the Abisko. Been closed for quite some time, but he opened it up. It was once prosperous. It ceased operations 10 years ago. Many workers were killed in some sort of nasty accident. But there was a large crater left behind. Some say there was an explosion. I don't know anything about that. It's been shrouded in secrecy and no reported survivors, so we're left to draw our own conclusions. There are rumors, of course, of incompetence, corruption, and unchecked greed, but we're no strangers to that.
Aren't there always? Yes.
Yeah. Well, you see, this Carl and his wife Sigrid, they bought the entire area, and together they're able to create a very enticing narrative about the mine and its reopening. They're promising riches, they're promising power and knowledge. So there's something there for the rich, something for the military, and something for the scientists as well. Why, they've become one of the most influential and wealthy couples in all of Sweden. I'm anxious to see what their discovery has been. I trust it's something that, well, perhaps you and I can get in on at the ground level, if you know what I mean. Investment, that's why I'm here.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And, Carl did not pay me to say that, mind you, but, once you meet him, there's a chance he'll be free with his pocketbook with you as well. And he taps his
splendid.
nose in a knowing gesture.
And then I think that we'll proceed with just some grunts back and forth for a while.
Yes, well, yeah. Yes. Nigel, you slip into the crowd. Give me a stealth roll with 2 bonus die. Nice. Do you want to just wander around acting like you're part of the service staff here, or do you go and just like pick up an empty tray and start making rounds, or do you head into the kitchen? What do you do?
Yeah, I was thinking Nigel would kind of do exactly that. Just grab a tray, maybe even actually grab a couple drinks and start handing them out, but you know, just walking around with it, listening, just being inconspicuous.
Give me an observation roll, please. Oh, wow, nice. You overhear some discussion, and it's about that strange article in the paper. And the article not only mentioned the credentials of the Magnussons, but also brought to light the unlawful mining of the Sapmi, the indigenous people of northern Scandinavia. It sounds like the Abisko mine is in their territory, and they are stripping it bare. And most people seem to think that journalist had a bit of a nervous breakdown, like so many recently, and they hope she'll get better soon. but they seem to speak very disdainfully of anyone that would be critical of the Magnusons. Like, oh, well, why would they say such things? The Magnusons, why, it's so important for all of Sweden, for all of mankind, no less. And they can't fathom that anyone would be critical of the Magnusons. And you would recognize they're talking about Amanda Lawrence, the girl that was thrown into the asylum after writing that critical piece.
Goodness. Well, Nigel does come from good old England. I don't know if we can judge people for what they're doing with the indigenous folk, but that is, typical human greed.
Now, the call is made, the ringing of a fork on a glass, that everyone should take their seats, that the demonstration is about to begin. You don't have assigned seating. If you want to try to sit up close, that's going to take a manipulation roll. Lord Montgomery is probably going to be the best at that. If you can pass this with 2 successes, you'll be able to get a seat really close to the stage using your gentlemanly handshakes and maybe getting in with one of your good chums that you just met here. Let me sit by you. We'll talk more over cigars. If you want to make that roll, otherwise you guys will be seated kind of towards the back third of the dining hall.
Yeah, certainly.
And you got 2 successes. Perfect. After what seems like an anxious eternity, the Magnusons finally arrive, accompanied by the Vice-Chancellor of the University, Eskil Anderson, and several members of the Swedish nobility. A hush descends upon the room as they walk in. The Vice-Chancellor walks up on the stage with a big grin before addressing the audience. Last summer, the university was approached by Svea Mining Corp with an interesting proposal that, at first glance, frankly seemed outlandish and unrealistic. As the Vice-Chancellor, it is my duty to protect this fine institution from nonsense, and I was almost offended by the preposterous nature of the proposal itself. However, after several meetings and many visits, I do not regret having the honor of today announcing a new chapter in the history of our university. But before I get ahead of myself, I would like to introduce to you the pioneer behind all of this, Mrs. Sigrid Magnusson. And Sigrid walks confidently up on stage. Let me send you a picture of her. Let me have Ilsa give me an observation roll with a +1 since you're seated up near the front of the stage. Nice. You notice an oddness to her. She looks no older than 17, and supposedly came from no family or money, but she carries herself with the confidence of a middle-aged noblewoman. It's almost as if she's able to spellbind everyone. She's incredibly convincing and charming. And she begins. Since 1477, this university has been at the forefront of innovation and scientific discovery. Standing strong in the face of destruction and terror, she was always ready and willing to serve those of us who search for knowledge above all else. Today I stand before you to honor our sacred institution. Today I ask you to see what the power of science, what the power of knowledge can bring to our people. Today we make history. Today will mark a new era for not only science, but for Uppsala. The Lion of the North shall roar again, claiming the respect it deserves from our European brethren, and upon a new golden age we shall together ascend. A group of assistants joins her up on stage, rolling in a wheeled table with a Bunsen burner and a glass chemistry flask with a few small stones inside. "This is the future," she says, and points towards the table. "These rare minerals can be found in the depths of the Abisko mine, and we've spent the last 3 years refining them." She takes a stone from the lab flask and holds it up. You immediately can tell this is the same type of gemstone that Franzibald carried and studied. While there is so much research yet to be undertaken, we have already discovered unprecedented properties and benefits. I shall now demonstrate. And it is not glowing.
Okay.
A young athletic man walks up to Sigrid. He takes off his shirt. A few men and women in the audience gasp, as this is considered quite improper at this time. The young man looks at Sigrid with the same adoration most of the people in this room seem to carry for her. She pats his chin lightly, the same way an owner would caress their pet. This brave young man has offered his body to science. For that, we all must be eternally grateful for his selfless act that will help us save so many. The potential is endless. You will see. The demonstration begins. Sigrid takes out a scalpel and uses it to cut the man right across the chest, blood streaming down his body. The audience gasps. He grimaces but puts on a brave face. Now, please, sit down. The young man sits down on a chair. One of the other assistants straps him to it, placing his arms straight to the sides. Sigrid places the green gemstone back in the lab flask and then carefully heats it in the flame of the Bunsen burner. As it starts to emit a green light, so here's the glow, she picks up the flask with a pair of pliers and holds it close to the young man's bleeding chest. As she does so, he starts screaming in pain and horror. The audience grows uncomfortable. Some are standing up, horrified as more and more blood pours out of the open wound on the man's chest. Suddenly, a bright green light fills the entire room, and then the lab flask explodes with a sharp crack, followed by silence. Mein Gott, a man next to Dagmar mutters, staring at the stage in disbelief. The young man, now unconscious, is still sitting in the chair. The gash that was once across his entire chest is now completely gone, even the blood. Sigrid walks up to him, pulls out some sort of smelling salt, and holds it under his nose. He wakes up, pale and disoriented, but a small smile eventually returns to his face. Several assistants help him off the stage, leaving a smug Sigrid behind. Impossible, the Vice-Chancellor says, his eyes almost popping out of their sockets. Not impossible, says Sigrid. Science. There's a stunned silence followed by uproarious applause. Freya, as a student, what's your take on what just happened? You saw this man sliced open, the stone held out, he seemed to writhe in pain and agony, a bright flash from the heated stone, and his wound was gone. And he was unconscious, although he was revived by smelling salts.
I feel like if she hadn't seen Vaesen, she definitely would be standing there like, what the... But I think she's kind of just like, definitely still a little awestruck, but more kind of fascinated and like, ooh, I wonder how this works exactly.
Give me an observation roll.
Alright. That's true. She could also be trying to suss out if it's like actually a thing that just happened, or like,
is this like a magic trick, or
right,
is this this is what your observation roll is for.
Some close-up magic. Haha.
So you've seen some sleight of hand before. You detected nothing sleight of hand with this. It wasn't the scalpel looked real, the cut looked real, the pulsing of blood.
Mm-hmm.
That at this time that could not be faked. And then to see that stone, that had an aspect of the sight to it. And you think that perhaps with the sight, maybe you saw this a little differently. Perhaps you saw a brighter flash, a brighter glow of that stone. There was something related to Vaesen going on, but what it was, you have no idea. The hypothesis that you all had, that perhaps the stone glows in the presence of Vaesen, seems to be shot down. It did not glow until it was heated. But clearly these stones, there's something supernatural about them. Montgomery, The aristocrat next to you is just wringing his hands with glee, thinking of the money this is going to bring in. What's your opinion of what you just saw?
Well, I think from the aristocratic standpoint, this is clearly a prosperous investment. However, I am rather curious now what this stone has to do and how it relates to what we saw in that small little Swedish town not but a few weeks ago.
Yeah, these people have not seen that dark side of the stone, that someone was willing to kill Franzabal to take the stone. And she seemed to be, Lisa Johansson seemed to be supernatural at the time. She had a look about her, and then she vanished in a flash, as though... In fact, I believe you recognized her as a revenant, as a spirit of someone that has passed on. Yet you had interacted with Lisa the day before, and she seemed like a sweet young girl that was confused. Had lost track of time here and there.
Yes, indeed, I will have to convene with Nigel, and we can hopefully come to some sort of conclusion.
Dagmar, you're very young, and you just saw something very traumatic. What was yours and Blix's reactions to that?
I think we need to keep in mind that Dagmar saw her family torn apart by a werewolf and has seen some fairly creepy things since, so she acts like she is startled and afraid, and she hugs Blix to her, sort of, has him up on her lap and sort of hides her face in his sort of fur behind the back of his neck. But I'm not quite sure. I think she thinks at this point that this is a job for the adults, so she's actually just being quiet. She's got her ears open in case she can hear anything interesting going on around her.
One thing that you do hear is when you've got your face buried in Blix's side, that there is a low, deep growl rumbling in Blix, and he did not like what he just saw. And it's got him on edge. It brings out the guard dog in him, and he has gone into protection mode for you. He's not barking, he's not being aggressive, but you can feel and hear that deep rumble inside of him. Ilsa, what about you, as a student of the occult?
Right, well,
what did you think of this?
I've seen quite a few weird things. I don't think I'll ever get used to it, though. But, as I first noticed Sigrid walking up on the stage, I'll kind of focus in on her and observe her more. And as she walks off, like you said, she had an oddness about her.
Yeah.
Do I recognize that oddness as some sort of magic or the same type of presence that a Vaesen would have?
You can give me an observation roll. Do you want to push that?
Yeah, I'll push it.
You'll take a condition and then go ahead and re-roll. I think frightened would be very appropriate there.
Right. Oh, okay then.
It was so stunning that you're almost unable to detect what you're after. Whatever just happened is outside of the realm of everything you've ever seen and experienced from a normal human. You've seen some things with the sight, but this is something very strange. And what the tie this might have to Vaesen, you have no idea. One thing that you do know is that this seemed unnatural. It did not seem like this is something that nature would condone or would want to have happen. Much like man in the 20th century would take compounds like uranium and plutonium and create weapons with them. That was not the purpose of nature in having those elements in the earth. You think that something along those lines is happening here, that the world of the natural and perhaps supernatural, that line is being blurred, and it has something to do with these stones. Nigel, you were probably not seated with the rest. I'm going to assume you were with the waitstaff. So you're at the back of the hall, and you have a unique viewpoint from where you are. The young man from the experiment is off near the back, and he is surrounded by several fawning women from the social elite. And you see him suddenly collapse. And this is while everyone else is talking in eager voices about the prospects of what they just saw and how they could make money or progress off of it. But you see that man collapse. And several people from the Svea Mining Corporation carefully escort his limp body out as discreetly as they can so that the ball guests wouldn't notice. But you're right there, and you see this. And eventually a man comes back and tells the worried and concerned waitstaff that the boy is alive and well, but that as is company protocol, safety comes first. He'll be sent to the hospital for additional monitoring. And that seems to be enough to calm most of the staff that witnessed his collapse. Do you go out and try and see what's going on? Do you take them at their word, or do you want to try and sneak out and get a look?
Yeah, I mean, he's still at this point. I like to think they haven't even really looked twice at him, so
Right.
you might just take that opportunity.
Give me a stealth roll. And you can add a bonus die because you are just, someone in the crowd. Oh, nice. You see a carriage that's being prepared to transport the boy, and you overhear that the boy, whose name is John Carlson, is being taken to the asylum. And then you see the carriage pull off as they head away from the university. The rest of the evening is brief. There are a few other speakers that whatever they happen to say is all but forgotten after the excitement that took place up on the stage. There's a call for donors and mention of upcoming events and things like that, but all anyone can talk about is the opportunity that the Magnusons have generated. And it seems like everyone is just eager to get on that train and make as much money and wealth and fame and power as can be had. However, the five of you likely see things a little differently. As the crowd begins to dissipate, where do you go? What do you do?
Do we... Oh, go ahead, Lord Montgomery.
Oh, well, I was just going to suggest perhaps we reconvene and discuss our findings.
Do you go to the castle?
If others have things they wish to do, then certainly I would see that they have time to do that. I just simply think that Lord Montgomery has learned all that he needs to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Freya would want to reconvene.
Definitely.
You head back towards the castle. You have a carriage that probably been hired by Montgomery. And Nigel, give me a vigilance roll. Luke, can you give me a vigilance roll, please?
Yes. Sorry.
Do you want to push that? Just as you're heading back to the castle.
Yeah, he's a little angry, so, from the previous events, he's a little... He still cannot believe that they didn't address his lord by his full title,
Right?
Goodness me.
Someone called him
Probably
Monty.
still...
You almost wanted to go and slap them with a white glove. Oh, there we go. Your vigilance pays off. You notice that as you disembark from the carriage at the castle, that there are 4 men in tailored suits that are kind of loitering near the castle. This is uncommon because this is an area of Uppsala where people wouldn't just go hang out on the street, but there's 4 people in suits that are maybe just across the street from the castle, just standing there smoking cigarettes. And ordinarily you wouldn't notice this, but after the events of the evening, you're a little bit suspicious of everyone and everything. And you see these 4 men just kind of nonchalantly standing there smoking, but one of them makes direct eye contact with you. And he doesn't do the polite thing when he notices you looking back and look away or wave. He just holds your gaze.
Ruffians, that's how impolite.
Do you interact with
Yes,
them at all, or just
not
get into the
orderly
castle?
presence.
No, I think Nigel would definitely be muttering about that though, back into the carriage. Like, ruffians, it's rude.
When you get back into the castle, the Algot, the butler there, has prepared coffee and cakes for everyone. He wasn't sure what time you would arrive, but he had it ready just in case you came home a little early. And as luck would have it, it's still quite warm and ready to go. And he prepares a small repast in the dining room, and then he leaves to give you a chance to talk about what you have seen. And I'll give you guys just a minute if you want to roleplay any conversation that your characters might have there before we move on to the next event.
I do have pressing news. The young fellow they did the test on, he collapsed at the back of the room and they rushed him out. I heard they were discussing taking him to the asylum.
It might be worth trying to bribe our way back in.
I agree.
I really want to know how they did that.
Dagmar, how do you feel about going back to the asylum?
Dagmar's always on to see Linnea, but also she remembers that she promised Amanda that she would get her out.
Right.
So she kind of feels like any chance to get in there might be a chance to get her out again.
Mm-hmm.
She's also chattering quite a lot about, did you see me dancing at the ball?
Yeah, in fact, the gown that you have is probably the nicest single piece of clothing you've ever worn. Was that rented, or was that gifted to you by Lord Montgomery? Montgomery, did you buy that or rent that for her?
Oh, certainly I would have just purchased it. Why bother filling out the paperwork?
Give me a resources roll just to make sure that was within your means. So you have a 7. You can click on resources and it should roll those 7 dice as long as you get a success. Ooh. Do you push that? If not, it was rented.
The dress has to go back. That's okay.
Very well, I will push it.
Oh no.
You surprise her. You maybe tease her a bit, like, oh, don't get any crumbs on that dress, and then you finally reveal that it's hers to keep. And Dagmar, this dress it's definitely not you. This is not something you would wear all the time, but this is a reminder of dancing at the ball and how pleasant things were before you saw that ghastly scene up on stage.
Could also use it in the future if I want to appear to be childlike and a little bit more classy than I actually am. So
Absolutely.
could be very handy.
Do you want to go to the asylum tonight or wait until morning? It is probably 9 p.m.
Probably past visiting hours would be a
absolutely.
guess.
Absolutely.
We'd have to get in another way.
you go in the morning?
I think so. I mean, unless we found an alternate way to sneak in, but I feel like the easier way is just to bribe again.
Right. It seemed to work well the first time.
Yeah.
The rest of the evening passes uneventfully. You're still a little bit on edge and filled with adrenaline based on what you saw, but probably some tough questions as well. Does anyone have difficulty sleeping that night?
Well, Nigel has sleeping pills.
Absolutely. So if anyone is having struggles with that, Nigel's your man. Does Montgomery have any issue with that, or does he just, as soon as he closes his eyes and his head hits the pillow, he's gone? Sleeping dream of the innocent.
Yeah. Yes, he falls asleep quickly, but a little less quickly. He's quite a little bit flustered being called Monty. The disrespect, the audacity of some of those at that little gathering.
Yeah, you intend to pen an angry letter to the Uppsala Times or something about showing respect where respect is owed.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I say you pen it. You'll just sign it. Nigel's going to write the letter. Or you'll dictate it to him.
Yes.
Naturally.
How about Ilsa? Do you have any issues sleeping that night? Crust is more than happy to see you.
Oh yes, of course I'll cuddle up with Crust. I have maybe some bad dreams that make it hard to sleep. Dreams about, what happened tonight, and maybe some from my past when I was in the cult.
Yeah.
But I always have a little bit of trouble sleeping, so it's no different than tonight.
Yeah. Anything you want to do before you go to bed, or do you just doze off to sleep?
Is there maybe some research I can do on this? I don't know if this mineral has ever been documented before, but maybe the effects of it, or
Sure.
something similar.
Do you want to go through... You took some books from Franzibald's apartment. Do you want to go through some of those occult books and see if there's any mention of it?
Sure.
That'll be a learning roll. Nice. You pore over the books, and outside of his notes, his handwritten notes, there's nothing. There's no mention of these stones. No mention of green gems, green stones, stones that have the power to heal. Nothing of the sort. This is a new scientific discovery.
Alright, and I think after I get that little study session in, I'll try to go back to sleep.
Okay. Probably with more questions than answers. Now, Freya, let's just go to you real quick. You have struggled trying to recall any information about the Vanadisir. Now you've got more questions again about this stone. Is your sleep troubled or exhausted and you just fall asleep?
Yeah, I think she's at the point where she's so exhausted, she's like willing her body wants to sleep, but her mind just keeps racing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think she's having if she does fall asleep, it's like she wakes up every hour, like it's not a very comfortable sleep.
Give me a vigilance roll.
Ooh. Oh.
You have a recurring nightmare that night. And it's of a place you've never been. It's a glacial rift, a gouge carved in the mountains. Kind of like the picture we see on the screen here, this big U-shaped gouge. As a glacier tears through a mountain, it doesn't leave a V-shaped valley. It leaves behind this glacial pathway that is recognizable by its shape and size. And you're walking in this place, and you don't recognize it, but it feels like home. It feels like this is a sacred and holy place. And then you have a dream of fire, and it's buildings on fire, and you're walking through a city on fire, and you begin to recognize this is Uppsala. And you see the castle burning. You see the university on fire. You see the asylum on fire, and the people inside burning to death as they struggle against the bars trying to get out. And then when you open your eyes, it's dawn, and you do not feel rested at all. You've passed the entire night having these strange dreams that again leave you with questions rather than answers. Now, sleeping, that will give you a chance to recover from injuries. You actually have a relatively good night's sleep. When you rest, you can heal conditions. Let me just grab this real quick. Perfect. Go ahead and heal all your conditions that you guys might have. And when you wake up, the butler has breakfast ready, but Nigel, maybe you take breakfast en suite to Lord Montgomery. He'll take it while he's in bed in his silk pajamas. You've got a little tray set up, and it's got maybe a pastry and a little coffee and some juice and maybe a soft-boiled egg. And then you've got his morning copy of the newspaper tucked under your arm. And you go into his room and set it down. You hand him the paper, and you hadn't noticed it before, but now you see the headline. And the headline is Violence at the Asylum. And Montgomery, as you look at this, it sounds as though during the night, due to the overcrowded nature of the asylum, several patients broke out of their rooms and were able to escape the institution before making it to the city center of Uppsala, where they wreaked havoc while shouting about terrible beings that surround us all. It then says that police were able to apprehend many of the individuals and return them to the asylum, but there are still several on the loose.
Well, I think Montgomery's first reaction is that wouldn't happen in old England, but...
We would just shoot them.
But perhaps this is a matter we should look into, yes.
The butler, he's got your breakfast being served in the dining room, and he comes in while everyone else is eating, and perhaps Montgomery has joined the household at this point. And he announces that there is a visitor in the drawing room. And he invites you to go and meet with them, and he says it is Mrs. Magnusson. She's come to speak with you all. When you go into the drawing room, she is escorted by 4 very muscular bodyguards. These are the same men in suits that you saw last night, Nigel. She's sipping a cup of tea in the breakfast room, in the drawing room while you come in from the breakfast room. Your butler, Algo Frisk, is standing to the side, eyeing the bodyguards. She's dressed in red with an elaborate hat. She's very beautiful, and her cold blue eyes observe each one of you as she slowly continues to sip her tea. Despite the coldness of her appearance, she comes across as being pleasant and curious, which there's a paradigm there, and it's strange how she can switch between those so rapidly. She gives a flirting look at Nigel and even winks at you, which discomforts you to no end. She then says that she knows that you were associates of Franzabald Hansen, and that apparently you used his invitation to get into the ball. She offers her condolences upon hearing that he had passed. He was an inspiration, truly, a colourful imagination, and a way with words unparalleled when compared to anyone else I've read. Let me have Dagmar give me an observation roll, and I'm going to make an opposed roll from Sigrid. And whoever gets the most successes will win this. And, oh, she's really good at this.
Whoa.
Oh, you tied. You can. So she cannot push her roll. Do you want to push your roll?
Yeah, I'm a little bit frightened of the guys she's brought with her. So I will push it.
Well, you still got the one success. You're able to sense that she's using her language skills to try and manipulate. We would call it neuro-linguistic programming nowadays. She's using words that are designed to evoke a response or evoke an emotion out of someone. You recognize this is basically fast talk. This is something that, on the streets, you've heard this before. But you've seen it in con men. She doesn't give off the air of being someone that's looking to con someone, but she's using those same patterns of speech. And she continues on with nothing but good words about Franzibald. I know Franzibald did not always agree with me and my methods, but I always felt there was a mutual respect between us. I'm saddened to hear that he had grown suspicious of the Svea Mining Corp, and I wished he would have just spoken with me. However, let's just get down to brass tacks, shall we? What is your interest in the Abyssco Mine and Svea Mining Corp? I wish to know why you were in attendance last night. To what end? And she looks at Lord Montgomery. Monty? Why were you there?
Oh, and Lord Montgomery kind of wakes up from the slumber he had accidentally dozed off into. Oh, yes, yes. Yes, investments and so forth. Nigel, how about a drink for me, please?
Of course, that ought to wake you up.
And what about you? And she looks at Freya. You look as though you've had a terrible dream. Are you not sleeping well, my dear?
Wait. Above the table, which season are we in?
It is, it's October. It would be fall in Sweden.
Oh, okay. Freya says, just the
seasonal.
The crisp fall air. It just takes a lot of getting used to.
I'm from a little bit more northerly than here, and I can agree with you. It does take some time, but perhaps you'll sleep better knowing that you've nothing to fear from me or from the Svea Mining Corp. We're doing a service for Sweden and for all of humanity. My intentions are only above board, and they are benign. I wish only to help, not to hinder or harm.
Be sitting on the floor with Blix. She says, you heard that man.
Oh, that man. He's quite well. He had an incident afterwards. He was exhausted. The stage fright was too much for him. But he is recovering peacefully now at the asylum. Rest and quiet will do him much good.
I'm sure it was the stage fright and not the sudden loss of blood.
Well,
Yes.
You saw him. He was quite healed. He was quite well. It was as if I had never sliced him to begin with. Tell me, why did you speak And she looks at Dagmar. Why did you speak with that young journalist at the asylum? I have little birds that tell me where you've been, and I understand you spoke with her. What was your purpose there?
I know her from when she was doing a story on the homeless of Uppsala. So she's my friend.
Well, it horrifies me to hear that she is unwell. Constructive criticism is extremely important for scientific discourse. I want to help people. That's always been my main mission. So I hope she has only painted me in a positive light. She did not give my company the same benefit of the doubt. But...
Is she one of the people that got away last night?
Got away? Oh. Look, there was an incident. She did get away. She's not been found yet. I was hoping you might have some information. I was hoping to be a little bit more, discreet about it, but let's just be blunt, you and I. Are you hiding her here in the castle?
Being blunt, but I can tell you that we are not.
Well, I believe you, because you have no reason to lie to me. And she catches your gaze for a moment, and it's almost hypnotic. Give me a vigilance roll.
Oh.
Use my +2 to vigilance.
Yes.
That was my
Perfect time to
advantage
use
that
it.
I had.
Right.
Okay. +2. I'm looking so innocent.
Oh, you got it.
Oh,
Nice.
It's almost as though you sense her gaze is powerful, much like her words. And there's a stillness, a moment that passes between the two of you, almost an unspoken communication. You don't hear a voice in your head, but you sense a presence almost probing your mind, looking to see if there's a kernel of lie or doubt. But then she smiles and blinks and says, as I said, I believe you. Now,
I look down and I look at Blix and I say, watch, he can do a rollover. So I get him to do a rollover, but it's also taking my eyes away from her eyes.
nice. She says, yes, delightful. He's a faithful little pup, isn't he?
Yes.
And she looks at Ilsa. Tell me, I understand you had a particular item that you took from old Franzi. Some of his books. You wouldn't mind if I looked through them, would you?
Oh, well, I couldn't tell you where they were. I seem to have misplaced them.
Oh. What
They're just some old books that, were given to me by Franzibald, no one else had any use for them.
Well, I might have a use for them. I would pay you for them.
Oh, I'm sure you wouldn't even want them. They're useless books. You would have no use for them.
I suppose he said many impolite things and untrue things about me in his books.
Oh, nothing about you. There's no mention of you.
And you may recall there was a mention of her. He had mentioned in his personal notes that he thought she was a member of the Vanadisir, and he was very distrustful of her. So give me a manipulation roll as you bluff her. And I'm going to give her a roll. Ooh, do you want to push that?
Yes, I will push that.
oh,
You need at least one success. Ooh, okay. So you got a success, and she did not. She smiles at you, and again, there's a brief pause while she's just looking at you, and you sense that while she's got both her eyes on you, it's as though your right eye and her left eye are staring right at one another. And for the first time, perhaps ever in your life, you feel your your binocular vision begin to separate. It's as though you're only looking out of that one eye, and the other eye, much like a chameleon, just starts to drift over to the side. And you see hers doing the same, and it's a very strange feeling. And it takes just a moment, and then it passes, and you feel as though whatever intrusion she may have been trying to perform on you has failed. And you blink, your eyes are back to normal. You have a slight headache, but she smiles and says, well, that's good, because anything ill he would have said about me, I would like a chance to defend myself. She looks at Nigel. You've been a busy boy, serving drinks when it was not your turn to serve drinks. You had no need. If you were a guest at the ball, you could have simply sat with your master. Why did you feel the need to serve?
Well, you get a bit bored. I'm not one for balls.
Yes, well, next time you're invited to someone's home or to an event such as this, please, just be a guest. And then she looks at Montgomery. Monty, if I can call you Monty. Tell me.
Yes.
Tell me, my good man, what can I do for you? Perhaps I can earn your trust with lands, additional titles.
I will look down at my pocket watch. Well, I can give you a few moments, although it's nearly time for the Lord to take his morning constitutional.
Oh,
What do you have to say?
delightful. Charming. Look.
Yes, in fact, Nigel, would you warm the seat? I believe I shall be there soon.
Duly noted, sir.
How do you warm the seat? I'm curious now.
Yeah, it's a great question.
Hopefully with a hot towel.
Yeah, no, that's what we'll go with.
This is a perfect 98 degrees. This is excellent. Now, as you, she basically extends an offer to you of titles in Sweden, land in Sweden, if you will but cease to be a hindrance to her efforts and instead choose to be a friend and choose to support her and her husband's efforts with the Svea Mining Corporation. All of your friends that you spoke with last night, they've done the same as you. I could make you very, very rich and very, very powerful.
Well,
Give me
before
vigilance roll.
Vigilance.
As she makes a manipulation roll, and she's really good at this.
I do have old eyes, but we'll see.
Ooh. Do you want to push your roll?
Oh, no, definitely not.
So the thought of consolidating power here in Sweden is maybe more than you can simply brush off. Even if you tell her no now, it's going to eat at you for some time. How do you respond to her offer?
Well, clearly this land and titles is not nearly as powerful or important as the English version would be by the time you've piqued my interest, yes?
I'll send more information to you in private correspondence, and she looks at Nigel, only to be opened by you, Monty, for your eyes only.
Tell me, what is it that the stone? How did you come upon it? I know you found it in your mind, but exactly what made you want to dig so deep to find this particular ore?
Oh, it was simply chance. We happened to be doing a survey on those lands. There was an old mine there once, and we thought perhaps it was not played out. It was a terrible accident, you see. But we felt that the time was right to reopen the mine and see if it could still lend resources to Sweden. And, well, we just happened to find these stones there, and through scientific research, we discovered their power, and they are powerful indeed.
What prompted this research? I'm quite curious as a potential investor.
Well, we can speak more on this later, but let it just suffice that your friend Franzibald, he was involved. In fact, it was he that showed us these stones, and I have to thank him for that, although I'm saddened to hear of his demise.
Do I detect a lie in their words?
Give me a vigilance roll. Maybe a half-truth. What she's saying could be construed as true, but you sense there's more to it that she's not willing to share.
Can I try and push her to share more information?
You certainly can. And as you do, she sets down her cup of tea, stands up, and when she stands, do you and Nigel stand?
Proper.
You rise and she says, "I must thank you for your time. I'm a very busy woman. I'll look into matters regarding the asylum," and she looks at Dagmar and gives you a little smile. "I'll ensure that the people there are well treated, and for whatever reason there was an escape, we'll see to it that that does not happen again. Perhaps whatever demands they might have can be met." And she looks at the 4 men that came with her, and without another word, without a goodbye or anything, she just walks towards them. They surround her. They give a parting glance, looking at Nigel, with a little bit of a gruff look on their face, like, this isn't the last time we're going to see each other. And then they leave the castle. A couple of days later, you are notified by...
I think Dagmar would
Oh,
hit
yeah,
the street. Brandon, I think Dagmar would hit the street and go
Okay.
and see if she can hear any rumors or anything
Ooh.
of Amanda.
Perfect.
Would that be okay?
Yep, absolutely. Give me an observation roll.
This is her skill, right? Heading
Yes.
out onto the street. Seeing if she can find her, because we could get a lot of information from her, but also we could keep her safe.
Ooh, yeah. So
Just chatting to everybody I know out there.
what you hear information. Everyone on the street is talking about the asylum, and that some of the patients were wounded, and even the ones who were not aggressive in the asylum, or tried to escape, some of those were wounded as well. And so immediately your concern for Linnea is high. It sounds as though, because this has happened, the public is taking a closer look at how inhumane the conditions have been in the asylum. You hear that Nicholas, the manager, he has been arrested for mismanagement. And the public seems to blame him for what has gone on. Interestingly, no one is saying this is the fault of Svea Mining Corp, but it's the fault of that man, Nicholas Freyde. And many of the patients who had been wrongly admitted, their cases have been retried and reheard, and some of them will likely go free. However, many of them are permanently damaged from their time at the horrid place and will have a hard time continuing with their lives. One of those is Amanda Lorentz. She has been found, but she has been told she does not need to stay in Uppsala. And she has not left the city yet, but it sounds as though she wishes to retire to the countryside. She wants nothing more of city life.
So can I find out where she is?
Yes. With your success on your observation roll, you hear that she is currently at a halfway house where several other of the residents of the asylum are staying, and you know where it is in Uppsala. You could easily go there and visit with her if you wanted to.
I'd rather take the others with me.
Yeah. Does everyone want to accompany Dagmar there?
Yes.
I'd be happy to go with.
You find her in a rather troubled state. She is... The first thing you notice is that she has a lock of hair that has gone completely white from the stress of what has gone on over the last several weeks, and especially the last few days. And speaking with her is difficult. She doesn't make full coherent sentences all the time. She'll drift in and out of lucidity, and from time to time she'll say things about how horrible the conditions there were, and things about the state of the people there. And so many people from the mining company were there, people who were working in the mine, who kept saying they were seeing ghosts and seeing things and strange beings that would reach out and try to claw at them or grab them or touch them, and small creatures that would crawl under the floorboards and peer up at them through cracks in the slats, and others that said they saw huge, tall giants stomping amongst the buildings of Uppsala. And she began to wonder why they were all going insane, and it began to weigh heavily on her, and she realized that she had been put in the asylum to die. She had basically been thrown in there, much like prison, but she says this was a fate worse than prison, because no one would listen to me, and I've decided to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to live out the rest of my life in quietness in the countryside. I want nothing more to do with the Magnussons, with the mining corporation, or with the aristocrats of Sweden ever again. She reassures you that Linnea is safe, that Linnea was safe in her room. She was not one of those that tried to escape, and that you'll find her quite healthy and quite well at the asylum.
Can I say to her, we can understand you wanting to leave and that you've been through a terrible experience. Anything you tell us right now will not be told by us to anybody else. Did you go to the mine in your investigations?
She says that she did not have the opportunity to go to the mine, but that she did have a chance to speak to several of the people that were at the mine, and that she it all started when she began to investigate the wave of patients at the asylum, and then she wrote a story that connected the Svea Mining Corp with that. And she began to question the Magnussons about their acquisition of the mine, and if it's defensible to steal land from the Sami people. And soon after that she was fired, and then she was thrown into the asylum. It was one of the doctors that was on the payroll of the Svea Mining Corp declared her insane. People just assumed that the humiliation of losing her job was what sent her there. Some even then began to say that she'd been a wicked soul, and all sorts of slander and libelous articles were written about her. And her last ally was Franzibald, and upon hearing of his death she was just overcome and realized she had to get out. And that same night when she had to get out, many other people had to get out. And it just happened to coincide with that event at the university. But she had never been to the mine, merely spoken with people that had first-hand experience.
Okay. When Mrs. Magnusson looked at you, did her eyes go funny? They went funny to me.
She wouldn't even look at me. She wouldn't make eye contact with me. I was no more than dirt on her shoe. She wouldn't give me the time of day. I think she did it on purpose. She made me feel like I wasn't even a human being.
I hug her.
Oh, she returns the hug. It's a little tentative at first, but then she just gives you this squeeze like you are a lifeline that has been thrown to her, and she does not want to let go. Poor Blix is caught in the middle and squirming, and he loves it, you know. It's playtime to Blix. Pretty
He
quick,
licks
you
our nose.
hear his fate yelping as he's, I can't breathe. He's saying, and as you release that hug, her eyes are just filled with tears.
I look at the others. I say, she needs to go and be safe. But is there anything we need to ask her first?
She offers some information. She says that she did do some research on Sigrid, and she says she found something about an organization, an ancient religion, and it was called the Vanadisir. And it was a religion that was based upon the Old Norse beliefs of the Old Norse gods, and that the Vanadisir were a secret order that claimed to be the direct descendants of the Norse goddess Freya, and that they had been around for 1,000 years, and that they were an ambitious organization, and that there was a story that a Viking chieftain near what is currently Uppsala had sent his warriors to crush their order and to protect the sanctity of the land, only to see them slain to the last man and woman. So the Vanadisir were a bloodthirsty organization 1,000 years ago. But it is said they went into hiding to protect their ancient knowledge, but that secret order remains to the day. And she got this information from Franzibald, who knew much about the Vanadisir.
Okay. I kiss her cheek. I look at the others, and I feel like we don't want to get her into trouble here, because I think she's being freed so that she won't share more information. We probably need to go again.
Yeah.
Within a day, she has left Uppsala, and as far as your paths, they will never cross again. She has found a peaceful place somewhere in the countryside, and she retires there and will live out the rest of her life in peace and quiet, never mentioning the Magnussons or the Abyssal mine again.
We got to go to the mine, I think.
Over the next several days, the excitement and buzz about the event at the ball begins to die down, and Uppsala slowly returns to being a regular student town. And the Magnussons have received the funding that they needed. Operations will continue in the north, far away from the public eye. And as winter swiftly arrives, and with it final exams, the town is once again distracted by more immediate matters. At this point, you have gathered important context and information about the main players in the campaign, and now it's a chance to act upon that information and discover the strange mine and its green stones. And that is the end of the second adventure, the second mystery in the Lost Mountain Saga. And this is a great place to take our break. So why don't we take like a 8-minute break, and when we get back, we'll start mystery number 3. And I will see you all in about 8 minutes. You're welcome.
princess from the evil goblin. I ignore all the signs of impending danger because I'm a fighter and not some crappy ranger. 47 hit points and a high dexterity, 17 for strength. Kobolds are afraid of me, crafted from numbers on living paper. I escape from the mundane to a medieval caper. While in real life, my fate is unspoken. Hero roll of the dice, and my fate is unspoken. I locate the lair, but it doesn't make much sense to me. I think that the DM might be out to get me. A hero in armor and truth, bards tell my legacy. The flame of my torch illuminates the enemy. I win in a battle, you win foes asunder. Deeper I venture, the deeper I wonder. The bodies pile up before me, the corpses I plunder. The deeper I venture, the deeper I wonder. Crafted from numbers on living paper. I skip from the mundane to a medieval caper. And while in real life, my fate is unspoken. Hero roll of the dice, and my fate is unspoken. I drink my last potion. I charge through the open gate. The flame of the dragon tried to seal my awful fate. With a handful of dice, 5 times I roll 20. The dragon goes down, the DM no bloody. I leave with the princess, a satchel chock full of gold. We head to the tavern where my mighty tale unfolds. Crafted from numbers on living paper. I skip from the mundane to a medieval caper. While in real life, my fate is unspoken. Hero roll of the dice, and my fate is unspoken. The king honored me with a mighty crossbow. It's blessed by the elves, he said. I thank him and I go.
I'm back. Wait for everyone else to get back, and we'll get started.
Woohoo!
There's Alex,
Hello.
Yes.
and I hear Luke. Do we have a Tina and a Henrik?
I'm
Bettina?
Oh, we got them both. Sweet. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So, this next adventure takes place in early November. So it's been about 3 weeks since the ball at the University Hall. Trees are barren, the ground is covered by brown leaves. There seems to be a perpetual fog over the old student town, made worse by the new factory buildings that perpetually spew smoke from their chimneys. With the winter rapidly approaching, the days in Uppsala grow short. The shadows grow darker, and updates from the Abisko mine and information about the aftermath have been frustratingly limited. The only real news is of continued reports of workers and scientists flocking to the north so that they can be part of this great opportunity. However, a man arrives one day at the castle and begs your assistance. It comes as something of a welcome distraction from everything that's been going on. This serious man with dark circles under his eyes. Oh yeah, and everyone can heal up from all their conditions. Several weeks have passed. A serious man with dark circles under his eyes from lack of sleep. This man, Olof Dahl, is tall and skinny. And it sounds like he must have been traveling for over a week to get here, and there is a desperation in his eyes. And let me type out his name for you. Dahl. Nope, spelled it wrong. D-A-H-L. Olof Dahl. And he says, due to the delicate nature of this matter, I need to speak to you in person. Despite several attempts, the island of Veroya and its port, Sorland, are no longer responding to our communication attempts. I, being the police commissioner of the Norwegian area, have sent several rescue missions. What's worse, a corpse was found of a young man frozen to death that belonged to the initial rescue mission. I have been tasked to find the best people to get to the bottom of this. You will be, of course, generously rewarded, but I will need your answer soon, for time is not on our side. I understand that you are not a normal investigative agency, that you deal in things that perhaps I am best not to know about. Not anything illegal, but, I am very skeptical. I'm pragmatic, but I have approached you because I hear you are the best. This is a highly confidential situation, and the public must not know. The economy in Norway is too fragile right now. Rumors of missing ships or problems outside the coast of Norway can come out, and it would be terrible. We cannot have this happen. I'm afraid I must leave soon, but I will meet you, if you agree, in the Norwegian coastal town of Bergen. So let me copy and paste this in for you here. Let's see. If you choose to accept this mission, you can acquire an advantage before you leave Uppsala and travel to Bergen. You can do any snooping around or any research you want to do here before you go, but then of course you'll choose a skill that you want to get the +2 in, and you can gain that at this point. Is this something you want to undertake? It doesn't seem to be related at all to the things that have been happening to you recently, and perhaps a change is as good as a rest. Perhaps getting involved in something else will get your mind off of the inabilities that you've had to find out anything about what's going on at Abisko. And any attempts to travel north to the mine, well, it seems like the Magnussons do not allow anyone to travel to any proximity to the mine without their express permission. And so perhaps this is something that may give you a chance to get your mind off of what's been going on. But it sounds like the island of Veroya and the port of Sorland, something has happened there. They've sent people to go investigate, and they have found a frozen corpse. And that was from the initial rescue mission, so not even someone from that town. They've tried normal means to find out what's going on and have been met with nothing but frustration. Is this something that you would accept?
Well, certainly it seems like it has a air of adventure to it, and a chance to perhaps uncover more secrets concerning these Vaesens and curious things that have been happening. I think Lord Montgomery would be eager to accept.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Montgomery, what do you want to take for your advantage, and what preparations do you make before the lengthy journey to up above the Arctic Circle to Veroya?
Well, perhaps I will have my... I will get a new monocle and improve my vigilance for a role.
Excellent. What about Nigel? What do you do? How do you prepare for this journey? You know that it's going to be incredibly cold where you're going, and that you can buy clothes in Norway, but it's probably going to be more expensive, so you may want to outfit yourself and Montgomery here. The island, Veroya, that you're sailing to is above the Arctic Circle, and the sun likely will not rise. This is going to be a polar night where you have 24 hours of darkness.
Ooh.
Oh dear, yes. It sounds like we're going to need a lot of supplies, so that's definitely his thinking, as you said. A lot of furs, I don't know, warm, some lights it sounds like we're going to need.
Layers. I think you probably take several layers. You've got some warm, maybe ermine mittens that Lord Montgomery's quite fond of. Have you been like knitting him a scarf? Like, do you craft things like that for him?
Yeah, you got to put his little like coat of arms on everything.
Nice, embroider it on there. And he probably doesn't even recognize the Herculean efforts you go to embroider his coat of arms on his scarf, but you know that despite his lack of recognition, he must appreciate it. Did you choose what you're going to take your advantage in?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering what that really works for. Probably vigilance.
Yeah,
you know,
I would
he's
think
prepared, he's ready.
How about Ilsa?
Well, I think I'll brush up on my combat skills, maybe clean and sharpen my dagger, maybe get
Nice.
some practice in with that.
And what about Dagmar?
I think Dagmar's going to hit the streets and talk to, maybe she knows some Norwegians who've come down here, you know, looking for a better life, and have been spending time on the street here. So perhaps she wants to learn a little bit about what it's like to survive the harsh cold up there.
Yeah, give me a learning roll. You meet people from Norway, but none that have been that far north. They all tell you the same thing: prepare for the worst and expect the worst. That it's going to be colder than perhaps you can imagine, or colder than you've ever experienced, but that it is certainly comfortable indoors. But you don't want to be caught out of doors, especially if a storm is raging. What do you take for your advantage?
Well, I was going to take learning, but she hasn't learned anything. So perhaps she hangs out with Freya a little bit and learns and builds her muscles up a little bit and takes a +2 to force.
Nice. You practice kicking the trees
Yeah.
in the garden.
Yeah, that's it.
Toughen up your shins.
You know, help Nigel carry trays and things like that, hoping to buff up the biceps a little bit and so on.
You're posing in front of the mirror, all swole. And,
Yeah, roll my sleeves up.
nice. When did Dagmar start wearing tank tops around the house? Welcome to the gun show, she says. What about Freya?
I think Freya is going to learn about hypothermia and other coldness ailments that can happen.
Give me a learning roll. Nice.
Hey.
So you do learn quite a bit about the signs of hypothermia, as well as the treatments and what it would necessitate in order to help someone recover that has been had their core temperature drop to the point where their ice crystals form in their tissues. And you know that if frostbite sets in, that it could be incredibly crucial to ensure that you heat up those tissues so they don't lose digits or limbs. And that the biggest threat in hypothermia is being wet. That if you are to get wet in that cold environment, that you must get dry as soon as possible. You're better off taking off wet clothes and being naked to the wind than you are wearing several layers of wet clothes. That will draw heat out of you faster than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And so, are you going to take healing or medicine?
Yeah, medicine.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's a cold November morning when a small ship leaves the harbor of Stockholm and sets sail for the coastal town of Bergen, Norway. The journey takes a week and is uneventful. Initially a Viking settlement, the city of Bergen used to be the capital of Norway and is now an important trading port for the entire region. And during this time, it's the second largest city in Norway. Bergen is known as the city between the seven mountains and is one of the most beautiful cities in the world, surrounded by mountains and fjords. You arrive in the afternoon. Rain is pouring down with gusts of harsh wind blowing in from the Atlantic Ocean. A massive ship, modern for its time, is docked at the harbor next to your ship, and its crew members are going back and forth carrying large crates. A stagecoach takes you to a hotel in the middle of Bergen, where you are greeted by Olaf Dahl. He spends very little time on pleasantries and leads you to a private dining room where you are fed. And I have a picture of Olaf Dahl. Much less creepy than that Nicholas guy at the asylum. He says, "I understand that you must be tired from your journey, but we are already behind schedule. The days are growing shorter and shorter, and I fear you won't have any sunlight left by the time you reach Veroya. But it cannot be helped. These are dark, terrible times. Might as well get used to it." He takes a sip from his drink. "I need you to go up there, find out what happened, and bring any survivors to safety. Most importantly, and I cannot stress this enough, make sure that the public does not find out if you witness any irregularities." And he taps the side of his nose. "I don't need to know what you see. I just need it to be gone." Eventually the door opens and a tall man walks in, built like a barrel, water dripping down from his long, dark coat. He wears a captain's hat and a blue turtleneck sweater. A cigarette butt is resting at the corner of his mouth, completely drenched. "Ah, Captain Haruk, meet the rest of your crew," announces Olaf. The captain is a boisterous man. He's accustomed to commanding others, and he wastes no time dealing with you. "We set sail in 1 hour. The sea has been treacherous lately. I want no surprises if I can avoid it. My men are nearly finished with the load-in. Provisions for 3 months, you said." He looks at Olaf, who nods. We'll become best friends or worst enemies by the end of it. And the captain smiles widely and then pours himself a drink before heading out into the rain, cup in hand. Olaf says, 3 weeks, excuse me, 3 weeks, sorry, 3 months provisions. It's just a precaution in case you get stuck throughout the entire winter. Let me have Freya give me an observation roll.
Yes. Ow.
Do you want to push that?
Sure.
Nice, there we go.
E-
You get the sense that he's quite anxious, and it seems pretty likely that you could get stuck up there, or worse, that you won't return at all. It sounds as though he's preparing for the worst, and he's fully prepared for the worst to happen. So this little 3-week jaunt might turn into a 3-month adventure aboard a ship ice-locked in the Atlantic. Now, before you board the ship, you have time to buy 1 item in Bergen before you need to get on the ship. Otherwise, you're welcome to board. And I do have a picture of the captain, Captain Horrocks.
Dagmar's going to buy a coat for Blix and
Oh.
some little booties.
Some little snowshoes.
Yeah.
Nice. You give me a resources roll.
I may not survive, but he will.
See if you can find something like this here. And your resources are only 1, so you got a 1 in 6 chance of being able to
Okay.
find this.
So I just roll
Yeah,
from
if you hover
the...
under resources, I think it'll let you roll that.
Okay. Gear? No.
Do you see where resources is at? Should be
I
at the...
do. It's not letting me... Oh, hang on. I was trying to click the number instead of
Oh,
the...
yeah. Hover
the
over
name.
the word resources.
Ah.
Ooh, not quite. They don't have any doggy winter attire. There is probably a small like a coat, but they wouldn't have any little boots or snowshoes for him. You can definitely get the coat. You would hate to have him get cold, but his paws are going to need some attention, and Freya is probably going to be mindful of that he doesn't get hypothermia as well as the rest of you.
Luckily, dogs pump blood through their feet
They
a
do.
lot.
Yeah,
So they
do
keep
it
their
on
feet
purpose.
warm. So he'll probably be better off than me.
Yeah, his feet will be far warmer than yours will. Anyone else want to make any last minute purchases before you board the ship?
Yes.
Well, I think. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sure. What year are we in again?
It's like 1890.
Ah, okay, too early. Then go ahead, Lord Montgomery. Let me think about some.
To try and purchase the finest bottle of alcohol I can find.
Yeah.
Something to accompany me.
Give me a resources roll.
Ooh, exciting.
Yes. Describe for me what you find.
I think it's a very nice, a bottle of brandy. Very nice vintage.
Nice.
I shall share it with the captain on our voyage.
So under the items, I just made all the equipment that should be observable, and there should be aquavit or fine wines. You can drag, or liquor. You can drag one of those onto your character sheet if you like. Let me do this as well with weapons, just in case you guys. I don't think you'll need one, but just in case you decide you want a weapon. Let me get the last one on here. There we go. Freya, did you decide what you wanted to purchase?
Yes, she will purchase an axe.
Oh, nice. You will have no trouble finding an axe here. This is in Bergen. It's basically a logging economy. No problem finding an axe. You don't need to make a resources roll for that.
Cool.
And an axe is, let's see, that is, I think, under melee weapons. And if you want, you can drag that. Is it on there? I don't see. I thought it was on there. Maybe it's halberd. If not, we can make something. Let me. I'll put a halberd on you. I'm just going to rename it axe.
Mhm.
One moment. Perfect. Now you have an axe.
Woo!
That should show up under your combat, or yeah, now it's on your main as well. Excellent. Anyone else? Anything you want to purchase?
Has anybody got a good dagger or knife or something that we could use?
I do have a dagger.
Good, okay. All I've got is a dog, so
Do you want to pick up a knife?
could
Dagger?
I? Could I
Sure.
see if I could, even if I just take one from the hotel, you know, like a butter knife or something like
I
that?
love it. Oh, I show you with a knife on your character sheet under combat. So you must have picked up a knife. at
Oh,
some
under
point.
combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was checking my gear. Yep, okay,
Yeah,
cool, thank you.
perfect.
I've got a walking stick as well. I don't know why I do that.
Yeah, you could have been beating people with stuff this whole time.
No, I could.
All right, Nigel. Anything for you, sir?
Oh, nothing that he can think of. He's got everything ready for the trip. He doesn't really need much for himself.
Perfect. And Ilsa, anything for you?
Are they superstitious at all in this town?
It would be similar to Uppsala.
Okay, because I have in my gear, I have a quartz stone pendulum and powdered staghorn.
Mhm.
So I would maybe look for something similar to that. Like some kind of
Ooh,
blessed item or like
good question.
something like that.
Let me take a look. You could find a crystal ball for sure. There, you could also find a set of very finely hand-painted tarot cards.
Oh, that sounds interesting. I think I would maybe pick those up.
That will take a resources roll.
Okay.
So they could special order one for you, but they don't have it available right now. But if you want to place an order, they can have it for you when you return. Unless you ask someone to grease their palms, you can maybe find one, like Lord Montgomery.
Oh yeah, my good friend the Lord Montgomery. I think maybe I would have a little chat with him.
If he makes a resources roll, I'm sure he could probably.
Oh,
come up
yes,
with something.
if you think it would be helpful.
No, apparently
Oh.
not even for his English pounds can it be bought.
You should accept
Wow.
these. They are worth far more.
And they look at the Swedish kroner and they say, no, we need Norwegian money, of which you have none. Unless you want to push that roll.
No. I'm sorry, Ilsa.
Well, I suppose it wasn't meant to be then.
It was a nice try. Your ship is named the Miss Paulina, and it's an impressive sight with a fortified hull designed to break through ice and withstand the harshest of conditions. There's about 15 people manning the ship, plus yourselves and Captain Harrick. You have your own cabins, and the journey is quite comfortable, especially as the wind is favorable and the weather remains clear. During the first couple of days, the ship follows the gorgeous coastline of Norway. And the further north you travel, the darker it gets. And on the 5th day, the sun no longer rises above the horizon. Now, I think I've got a picture here. Yeah, let's go to this map. Until spring, then, Captain Horrick says as he watches the eerie orange sky of the polar night and the last streak from the fading sun. He takes a swig from his bottle and then offers to pass it around to anyone who'll take it.
I would totally have a sip.
Give me a physique roll.
It's not the first time I've had some sips of something.
Oh, you will take a physical condition.
It doesn't have drunk there.
This is some strange Norwegian liquor. You've never had anything like this. Part of it, it almost tastes like it's mixed with kerosene.
Okay, I'm going to say I'm battered by that.
Freya, you have plenty of time to read, and give me a learning roll. I would assume that perhaps you and Ilsa brought some books from the castle, perhaps some of Franzibald's books, and maybe you start to research a little bit on the Norway and the mythologies of Norway.
Yeah.
Excellent. One passage in particular actually chills your blood. You read that the northern part of Norway, where you are headed, is the home of giants.
Oh no.
And you have a particular history with this. You know that giants despise Christianity and other religious symbols. They find organized religion to be abhorrent, and they can be extremely violent against humans, and you know this to be true. Every night the crew shares stories of their adventures from lands far away, and the sailors are superstitious, and most believe in the existence of Vaesen, although they wouldn't see them as you all do. Captain Harrick mostly tells everyone extremely inappropriate jokes and stories of women he's encountered, jokingly assuming that they must all be Vaesen too, considering his encounters with them. And Ilsa, someone looks at you and at Dagmar, and they say, are the two of you sure you're up for what you might find?
Oh, we've both been through a lot. I'm sure this couldn't be any worse.
Why don't you speak to the ship medic, Dorothea Lukonen? She will set you straight. Do you seek out the ship's medic?
Oh, I guess I would.
The previous crew, they froze to death, no? She says. I believe it's one of those mermaids. I once heard of a whole ship larger than this being lured into the lair of one of them ladies. Cold and ruthless, she dragged the men down, and they all froze to death for daring to look into her eyes. Her words have a chilling effect on the entire crew. No one says anything until a young man pipes up. It could also be the Kraken? And as if a spell has been broken, everyone starts roaring with laughter, and the young man turns red. The Kraken, he says. Captain Horrick wheezes. Already this boy is full of nonsense. And the mood seems to improve, and you see that they are joking about Vaesen. Clearly they've never seen or experienced them as you all have, And especially for Freya, this might be a frightening evening as she reads about the land of giants, the land you are headed to.
Mm-hmm.
As you awaken on the 7th day of the trip, you notice that something is wrong. The ship is not moving. And when you go outside, you notice that you are surrounded by ice. In the orange and bluish darkened morning light from the absent dawn, you can clearly see the mountainous Veroya and the small village of Sorland, not very far away. The ship, however, is stuck. I wish I could have taken you further, but it came from nowhere, this damned ice, Captain Horik mutters. We are about 1 kilometer from shore. He looks at all of you and says, we have skis. To get quickly to Sorland's harbor, you may cross the thick ice on skis, or skates, if you like. Me and my crew, we stay with the Miss Paulina. We have food and alcohol to last us 3 months. If you approach the village of Sorland, just be careful. We have scanned the shoreline with glass. Nothing is moving. It's as if everything is completely frozen and has been for years, creating a sense that there is a complete absence of life beneath that wintry landscape. No, we will stay on the Miss Paulina, but you all are welcome to continue your journey to Sorland.
Would Dagmar have sought out the boy?
Yeah, what do you want to...
Ask. Well,
Yeah.
you know, because they laughed at him for the Kraken, but she could go to him and say, you know, they shouldn't have laughed at you for that. That wasn't fair.
Oh,
You can tell me about it.
They always make fun of me. I have a brother. He was a sailor too, and he died at sea. My mother, she was beset with grief, thinking it simply his ship had gone down in a storm. But then one of the men from that ship, he returns and says, no, the ship was taken down by a great beast at sea that reached up and grabbed the ship, held it still in its great tentacles, and then ripped it in half, pulling the men down like you would pull pickled herring from a tin. I fear this is what happened to my brother, but when I tell people here, they just laugh at me. I do not even drink much, but they tease me like I am a drunkard. But I believe, though I hope to never see it.
I'm so sorry that happened to your brother. My parents and my brother and sister were killed too. Do you think that the Kraken could... Is there stories that the Kraken ever came up onto land or took a town or something? Could that be what's happened where we're going?
It is possible. I suppose that there are many tales that are told on the quiet decks of ships while we are at sea. Much of it is nonsense. It is simply to pass the time and to try to frighten the young sailors like myself. But there has to be some kernel of truth in every story, no? Otherwise, where would the stories come from? And,
I don't think you're silly.
Thank you. I did hear of a tale once. It was not a kraken, but a great beast from the sea that rose up and swallowed a whole town. And some say, oh, it was just a tidal wave, or it was an earthquake and the land sunk into the sea. But some say they saw the hands of a great giant reaching up and plucking the houses into the sea like they were apples on a tree.
A giant.
Yes, huge, menacing, imposing, frightening. You do not wish to meet a giant. They will kill.
I do not.
They will kill any human that they see, just for the fun of it.
So Madge, I believe you, and I hope that you are okay out here and that no Krakens find you.
You are very kind and very good. If things do not turn out well for you in Sorland, light a fire on the beach. I will come to your help.
You are so brave and good. I give him Blix to pat.
Oh, and
It's my greatest reward.
he holds Blix, and Blix just starts licking his face, and he's got a little wisps of whiskers growing on his chin. It'll take him a few years before he has a beard or a mustache, but he's got enough stubble on his face that Blix finds great delight in licking at those hairs. And he just starts to laugh, holding the dog, and I once had a dog too, but I've been at sea for so long I do not even know if he would remember me.
He will remember you.
It is said that they never forget.
I let the others know what he said before we go. Perhaps we will need to, if there's no one in that town, perhaps we will need to go a little further inland if we are to be safe.
Yes, the farthest we get from any reported sightings of giants.
That's fine with Freya.
Yes.
Nice. Is everybody prepared to go ashore?
Yes, would there perhaps be a sled or something that my good man Nigel could pull my luggage in?
They do have a sled. You could put it in some crates, and he could lash it to himself, and if he's skating, he could drag the sled across the ice. It's only a kilometer or so. He'd be exhausted by the time he gets there, but I mean, you need to have your evening wear, your slippers, his field kitchen.
Yes. Well, it'll be good for you, Nigel. Some fresh air for you, yes.
Good exercise, sir. Thank you.
Are you taking skis or skates?
I don't think Dagmar's ever learned to skate. That's a bit more of an upper class thing to do. So perhaps skis, if she just walks with skis in a sort of a Nordic way using the two canes,
Nice.
she would probably find that a little bit easier.
If anyone wants to try skates, it's an agility roll. If you want to do skis, it's a force roll.
Skis.
Oh, no problem for Freya.
Hey.
Yeah.
Wait, so it's force for skis and what for skates?
Agility for skates. Dagmar,
I'm
you're
sliding all over the
struggling.
place.
Yeah, it's hard to keep your balance. One foot wants to go one way, one the other. Nigel, even dragging the sled behind you, you manage to pull it towards Sorland.
Can I get on the wagon?
You're light.
Ilsa, on skates, you actually, at one point you turn your skating backwards, and maybe you do a little figure eight around Dagmar as she's sat down on her skis, unable to move. And Montgomery, you are likewise struggling. How do I work these damn things?
Yeah.
You've got your skis crossed.
It's not dignified, Monty.
No English lord should have to put up with these darn things.
Do you just wait for Nigel to come back with the sled that you can then sit on, and he'll pull you to the shore?
Nigel, that would be splendid. Would you do that for me?
I think the second he gets there and you're not there, he'll be like, well, time to head back.
Don't mind, perhaps set out some refreshments before you leave, and I'll wait here.
So it's a kilometer there. Nigel gets there, unloads all the heavy crates, and then just quickly hastens back across the ice. By the time you get back to the ship, Montgomery is probably complaining about the cold. You're panting like a sled dog that's been ridden hard. And you just, one moment, sir. And you get out a little blanket and a pillow and set up a nice little chair on the sled for him to sit. And Dagmar, do you take up a position on the sled as well? Or do you?
Maybe I'll just hang on to the back of
hold
it.
on to the side, to the back, and let him pull you.
Yeah, just steady myself. I don't think I would ever raise myself to the same level as Lord Montgomery.
Nice, Nigel. I need another roll. This one you're going to have you're going to need 2 successes.
Encourage him, give some inspiration.
Give him the whip.
Oh, no. But no, I will just simply inspire him.
Your presence
If you want to
is
use
inspiring.
inspiring words, that will make it just 1 success.
Oh, well.
He's getting tired, but he puts
Put
his
your back into it,
it.
Nigel. Yes.
It's exhausting, but with your support there, Lord, we've got it. Thank you.
Good.
You get to the opposite shore, and you're exhausted, Nigel. You probably collapse to your knees, panting, and Lord Montgomery probably stands up and he's waiting for you to set down like a little rug so he doesn't have to step into the snow. Are you impatient, Lord Montgomery? Do you give Nigel a moment to collect himself?
Oh no, that's okay. He's earned his rest. No, I'm not unfamiliar to roughing it, as it were. I was once a cavalry officer, as you know.
Of course, you probably had a really nice field tent and attendants, and got to wear nice suits. You didn't eat in the enlisted man's mess. You had the officer's mess, where you probably had roast duck and fine foods most nights. So your idea of roughing it is definitely glamping compared to the others. But you are patient with Nigel, and you let him catch his breath and wipe the sweat from his brow, and he eases you down onto the snow, and then he quickly sets about preparing a little repast. He's got a blanket laid out with heating up some coffee or tea and a few bits of bread, and you have a chance here on the beach to kind of look around. And I've got a village map here. Let's go to the village map. So you are kind of right here on this little point of land there at the harbor, and built as an ordinary fishing village with boathouses and small wooden cottages lining the shoreline, there's a main street that leads towards a huge building further up the hill. The building looks like it's carved from the mountain itself, and its structure is similar to a Viking longhouse. Freya, give me a learning roll.
Ooh.
And I believe that this is the building right there.
Oh,
Wow.
it's nearly a
Your
6.
learning has just been a struggle today.
Oh, bad.
Do you want to push that?
Sure. Man, okay.
It just was not meant to be. Some things are better left unknown.
Angry.
There is a chilling gust of wind that brushes by, and it whisks some of the snow away from the rooftops, and the air is now full of ice particles that drift slowly to the ground. As you leave the docks and enter the main streets of Sorland, you get the distinct feeling that you're being watched. And Dagmar, give me a vigilance roll.
I don't have that +2 to vigilance anymore, which is a bit sad.
Oh,
Do you push that?
I'm scared. Am I already scared? No, I got over being scared, so now I'm scared again.
Oh, you got it.
Oh, actually, I have vigilance as a feature as well, so I don't have to take any mental effects.
Oh,
so I
perfect,
could have
perfect.
actually rolled an extra one, but it's okay because I got it.
So you get the sense that someone is watching you. You think it's through the window of a nearby boathouse, but when you turn to look, there's nobody there. But that feeling of being
Jingers!
watched is distinctly there.
Hairs up the back of my neck, standing up.
Yeah, this is the village. There's no one here. It's completely quiet and still, but you do have the distinct sense that you're being watched.
Okay, so I point to the place that I think someone's watching. I go, this place is supposed to be deserted, but I'm pretty sure I can feel someone watching from over there.
So there are many boathouses and cabins along the shoreline. You're more than welcome to go and investigate those. If you want to peek in.
I look at the grown-ups. Do we go now, or do we get ourselves a base, or what should we do?
Well, perhaps we should go and find lodgings if we're going to be here for a while.
Somewhere warm.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere we can make warm.
There's likely an inn in town as well. The boathouses and small cabins, they are painted brown and made from the wood of fir trees. And several of them have decorative patterns carved into the eaves, resembling snow crystals and flakes. Most of these look like they're abandoned and locked up, but you could probably easily pick the lock or open them with brute force. Unless you want to go find an inn in town. This would be the nearest shelter.
The inn might have more resources?
Absolutely. Assuming there's anyone there.
Right.
Even so, they'd probably have a stack of firewood or something, and perhaps it wouldn't feel quite so much like housebreaking if we go to an inn.
Yeah.
So,
And just in case someone comes home.
so
That's
the
it.
inn is right here on the map. And that structure that you first saw on the hill is up here. And it looked like maybe some sort of Viking longhouse.
Interesting.
Dagmar, with the recent conversation with the sailor lad, in her mind feels that the inn might be a little bit close to the water. But if everybody's missing from the whole town, then I guess being further away doesn't matter.
Where do you want to go?
Tag along?
Montgomery, where do you want to go?
Yes. Well, first, I believe I've misplaced my pocket handkerchief. Nigel, could you
Skate
just quickly
back.
run back and retrieve it?
Right away, sir.
Yes. Well, once Nigel has that settled, well, perhaps we should, as recommended, head to the inn, rather good place to avoid any confrontation and acquire some resources.
Everyone agreed?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, and when Nigel gets back, I will even take some of my fine liquor I purchased and pour him a glass. He's definitely earned it for his exceptional service.
In this cold weather, do you get like a small little keg to put on Blix's neck, like a St. Bernard, that he can carry a little bit of liquor on there?
Not after
nice.
my experience on the ship.
Right? Maybe one for Crust as well, but Crust would probably get into it and drink it. What was once a cozy, welcoming inn is now in shambles. All the windows have been boarded up. Excuse me. I can't talk and breathe at the same time. All the windows have been boarded up. The door opens and you see that broken furniture lines the walls. There's a rotten stench of unwashed bodies. But there is a fireplace with embers that radiates some heat.
Somebody was alive to board up the windows. But that somebody is no longer here? Can I just call out, hello? Hello, is anybody here?
As you say that, as you're calling out, Freya, give me an observation roll.
Oh boy. Okay. Whew.
Nice. As Dagmar is calling this out, you hear some sounds coming from upstairs of the inn, footsteps. And you're looking around the room, you see all the broken furniture, you see the embers in the fireplace. There has been someone here recently, it sounds like they're upstairs. But then you see a pile of something that looks like human limbs arms
Oh, no.
and legs. These have been neatly butchered, sliced up into cutlets, strip steaks. Some of the bones have been completely cleaned with scrape marks on the bones.
I shouldn't have called out.
You hear a voice, "We've been starving," from upstairs. And
Oh boy.
5 men barge down the stairs with clubs in hand. Let me grab 5 men here.
We decide to go to the inn, and Brandon's like, woohoo!
Sweet,
Yeah.
let's go! Let me grab 5 people here.
Should have just broken into someone's house.
Been one there too. Someone was watching us.
Let me drag us into combat here.
This is our first combat.
I think it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you want to draw an initiative card, if you go to the 2 crossed swords, it will show your character, and you can click on the hand of cards next to you, and it will draw the cards. Nigel, exhausted, of course, gets card number 10.
Dear me, yes.
Oh no.
All right. Dagmar, you are first. Oh, no, sorry, the survivor is first. Take it back. He steps forward, and since we've got 5 of them and 5 of you, I'm just going to say the ones across from you are the ones that attack, so let me just kind of move them into position. This one goes after Nigel. Nigel is probably breathing heavily. His blood is warm. It's almost like they can smell that warm blood and heat. And he's going to come at Nigel, and he's going to swing at you. He has a broken oar in his hands. And so in Vaesen, you have a slow action and a fast action. It's not like Dragonbane where you have 1 action, you have 2. Your slow action is typically used to attack. Your fast action you can save for defense. You can try to dodge out of the way if it's a ranged attack. That would be an agility roll. You can choose to fight back, like if they're trying to hit you, with a close combat if you have a weapon, or a force roll if you're just using your own body to try and defend yourself. He's coming at you with an oar. Do you choose to use your action to try and fight back?
Definitely. And I may be doing this a little early, but I would use this.
Perfect.
Just for that split second, the adrenaline kicks in.
Awesome, and that's for a gaming session. So that's for that is fantastic. Let me mark off your fast action right there. And so then let me roll for him. And if you want to make force, if it's with muscle, or close combat, if you have a knife or some other weapon at hand, he got 2 successes. So you need at least 2 successes in order to defend.
Oh dear.
You got 1. So that will. So with 2 successes, he would do with one success he would deal 1 damage. With 2 successes, he would deal 2. But you negated 1 of those, so you will take 1 damage, and that comes in the form of a physical condition. Is how you take damage. So you can assign yourself a physical condition.
Oh dear.
And Montgomery, you're next.
Well, a bit of action. Yes, I will draw out my officer's saber.
Nice.
And he will use his action to try and defend against that with the oar in hand. Oh, come on, you can do it. Oh, he got 0 successes, so you would deal 2 damage. I think your saber does 2, and then you got an additional success, so it will do 3 damage to him.
Woo.
And this guy has a scant 1 hit point. So you take him out. Do you kill him or just incapacitate him?
I think Lord Montgomery's a little bit too excited reliving his war days and simply takes him out for the Queen and takes him down, and then he will assume a more of a command position from the back.
Nice. So that uses up your slow action. You still have your fast action. Dagmar, you're up next.
These people just nommed on some other people, so I'm not going to hold back on this one. I'm going to draw my little dagger and I'm going to jump forward and try to stab the one that's coming for me.
Nice, and he will fight back.
Okay, so it's a +1 from my dagger.
And then I may add that if you click on your main page on the bottom right, I think it has your knife. If you click on that, I think it will add your +1. I'm not positive.
It's given me 1 damage, but it hasn't done my +1, so I'll just add that 1. And now it's being glitchy. Okay, so I'm going for it.
Oh, you can push it if you want.
Yeah, I'll definitely push it. Myself at 1 this time because it's going to let me. Excellent.
Oh.
He still
God,
gets
7.
to fight back. If he gets a success, you will take damage. Oh, and he does.
Yeah.
You'll take 1 physical condition.
Okay, I've got all 3 of my physical conditions at this point.
1 more and you're broken.
Yep.
Ilsa.
I will take out my dagger as well and try to stab the one coming for me.
He will fight back with the oar in hand.
And I do have my +2 to close combat.
To close combat, you can add that now if you like.
I will.
This seems like the good time to do it. So he does not defend, so you just need a hit.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you kill this guy or just incapacitate him?
I think I'm gonna kill him.
Describe for me how this goes down. Is this the first person you've killed?
This is the first person that I have killed, yes.
Tell me how that goes.
Well, I'm seeing these people, these aggressive people coming at me and my friends, and I just get this boost of adrenaline. Like I've been in a similar situation to this, but I wasn't brave last time, so I'm gonna be brave this time, and I just take him out.
I'm going to have you make a fear roll. This is just because this is the first person you've killed. It's going to be logic or empathy that you can combat this with. Now, one thing that we haven't been doing with fear, and I should do this correct, is you get a bonus for having your fellows here. They help to embolden you.
Right.
And you can get up to +3 if you have at least 3 other people, so you can add 3 to your fear check. Are you coming at this from a point of logic or a point of empathy? Like, I had to kill this guy, or what? Or how do you...
I think I'll go logic.
Or this guy was resorting to cannibalism. He needs to...
Yeah,
I'm doing him a service.
Exactly, yeah.
Alright, so make a logic roll. You need at least 1 success.
And I got a plus...
+2 on your safety and numbers. Nice. So you get a +5.
Okay. Really? That's great.
Do you want to push it?
Yeah, I'll push it.
Well, if you don't, you're still gonna... So if you don't, you will take 1 condition, and then you'll have, like, several rounds of, like, inactivity, so it's probably worth taking the condition to push it.
Yeah, I'm pushing it.
There we go. There we go.
Oh.
You managed to shrug that off. Do you then go to Dagmar's aid, or go help Freya or Nigel?
I think I'll go help Dagmar.
Perfect. Dagmar is about to get attacked. This guy swings an oar at Dagmar. Now, Dagmar, you have not used your slow action, so you can fight back. You'll just make another close combat roll. But he comes at you and gets no successes. So if you can hit him with your counter here, you may be able to take him out. I thought you were going to get broken right there.
Yeah, me too. Do I still get that bonus dice because
You-
I've still got my dagger?
You do. Yeah, every time you use it, you'll get that bonus. That's just for using that gear. Oh, do you want to push that? Well, actually, I don't think. Well, you
Can't push it.
Yeah,
I can't.
it makes you broken. Oh shoot.
Yep. I mean, I guess I could break. Maybe I'll break.
Yeah, you could if you want to become broken.
All right, I'm going to break because I think this. She's not just gonna. She's gonna break anyway if he gets her. So.
Oh,
Yes!
You got it. So, two things. First, you become broken. So, in a last-ditch effort, you plunge your blade into this person. Now, the first thing we need to do, since you're broken, is roll on the physical critical table, because you just broke yourself. So, let me make a roll on physical critical injuries. Roll on that table. And oh. Okay.
Weird.
dear.
Okay.
So inappropriate.
Right? I don't know. Maybe I didn't even know that was in there. Let me drag that onto your character sheet. I'll let you decide how this how this happens. This can be fatal, so you need to get treatment within the next hour. You'll die within 1d6 days if you are not treated. It's a medicine check to treat you, and I think Nigel is good. Oh no, someone just took a bonus in medicine. Freya did.
2 in medicine.
You have a defect right now. It's incontinence. So your agility is at -1. Anytime you push yourself, you pee a little, and so you suffer a penalty on agility. When we get back to the castle, you have a chance to get rid of this. I think that happened to Ilsa last time. If not, that will become a permanent defect. So tell me...
I'm gonna retire if that happens.
Right? So... The second thing we need to do is make... Is this the first person you've ever killed?
Yes.
Give me a fear roll, and you can add 3 to that. You can choose either empathy or logic.
I will choose empathy. 3. These dice want me to die today.
Do you
honestly.
push that?
Sure. I'm angry. Someone just kicked me in the genitals. +3.
Oh, wow, nice. So, this is the first time you've killed someone. How do you reconcile that with your own belief system?
I'm not particularly religious. I think that if there'd been a god, they wouldn't have let my family be killed. So I just go, they ate people. That's all.
That's all.
Yep.
All you need to know. But you hit the ground and you are clutching your groin in agonizing pain. Worst UTI of your life just set in. It's going to be rough unless you get some healing. Hopefully, Freya brought some cranberry juice, and you'll be just fine. Freya, it's your turn.
The indefinitely has cranberry juice somewhere. I think Freya will. Well, we just got an axe, so that's very convenient. So she's, I think, gonna swing the axe. I'd envisioned using it for firewood, but
When the ox is in the mire.
yeah, life comes at you fast. Hey.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got a success. He will counter.
Haha.
No, and he can't push, so you take him out. Is this the first person you've killed? Probably first person with an axe that you've killed.
With an axe. Yeah, I feel like it probably is the first person she's killed.
Yeah, give me a fear test, and you can add 3 to that. Either logic or empathy. You guys are like the A-team. Rolled in here with these 5 cannibals, and By the end
Or
of
just like-
round 1, they might all be dead. Oh,
I hope so.
all right. Yeah, no problem. You got no problem taking this guy out. And it was brutal. Tell me how you kill him with this axe that you bought to cut firewood.
Right. I think, like, I mean, she's already at a point of frustration. Like, she hasn't been able to remember information. She's been really broody. There are probably giants around, so I think it's kind of just a really frenzied. Like, she's just like going at him with the axe. Like, it's the thing in the movie where, like, even when the person is past dead, they're still kind of just like taking all their anger out on them.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I feel like it's pretty brutal, unintentionally so, but
Blood
Yeah.
splatters everywhere. Awesome. Nigel, you see all of this go down. You've kind of been holding your move until the end. One, to make sure that you didn't need to defend Lord Montgomery, but now it seems you've got the upper hand on this survivor. What do you do?
Oh, I suppose, can I shoot the fellow?
Yeah, you can shoot him.
We're grappling, it's pretty easy.
In that case, he will only be able to make an agility roll to try and dodge out of the way. Oh, yeah, you got him. He needs to get 2 successes. And he got 1, but you got 2, and so that still goes through. Do you wound him or kill him?
Oh, I killed him. I like, yeah. No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, we're grappling. It looks like he almost got away. You know, probably saw me get the gun, but so you know, close range still, easy shot. Nigel's been there, done that.
Now, you don't need to make a fear test, and we don't need to go into why. You know why, but the others look at you, and you are unshaken. You just calmly shoot this person, put the gun away, like it's no big deal. Does that bother anyone else?
Yeah.
Dagmar.
I think if
Yeah, and Freya, are you, and Ilsa, are you? Lord Montgomery's probably fine with
I
this.
mean, we all just killed somebody, so.
Right. But it seems like this was not something that caused him any concern or any bother. Do you file that away for later, or do you respond to it now?
I think we know he was a soldier,
Yeah.
so
Good show, old lad. It's like that time we charged him down across the field, and Lord Montgomery will go into some war story.
You probably step up and put your foot up on the corpse of the man you just skewered with
Oh,
your saber,
God.
just reliving old war stories. We've got someone down. We need
yeah,
to,
I'm shivering on the ground. I'm really interested in war stories right now.
we need to treat a broken character that's physically broken. It's a medicine roll. And you have to get at least 1 success to make it no longer broken, no longer fatal. If you get any additional successes, it treats additional conditions.
all right,
If you fail, then you got it. I was going to say, then you need to find help. Probably take her back to the ship, but you get it. So you are no longer broken, Dagmar, but you are still incontinent, at least until you get back to the castle. So let me put down that you are healed. Healed, yes. And we'll find out if it's permanent when we get back to the castle. But you have taken out these ragged-looking folk, and one of them, the one that was skewered, well, Montgomery has got his foot on him. You notice that he's still breathing. He's still gasping for air. And he looks at you, spitting out blood between his lips, and you see he's got bits of meat stuck in his teeth, and you wonder who that is that's stuck in his teeth. And he whispers out and cries out, "The devil! The devil! It arrives every night and leaves every morning. It calls for us with that terrible song." And then he begins to laugh uncontrollably. And then mid-laugh, he pauses, almost like on The Princess Bride. Halfway through laughing, the poison finally kicks in. He's mid-laugh, his face freezes in a rictus of pain, and then he grows quiet. You hear another sound from upstairs. And it's a slower gait. It's a step and a slide. Step and a slide, like someone is dragging a leg behind them. What do you do?
I think Dagmar flees out the door. We only just came in the door. She's not going to go far, but she's had enough of people coming down those stairs.
Does everyone follow after her?
I don't expect them to.
I'd be fine with breaking into a house.
So Freya, do you go outside as well?
I think so. Mostly because Dagmar is still... She wants to make sure she's okay.
What about Ilsa? Do you wait to see what is upstairs at the end?
I am kind of curious, but I don't think it's a good idea to stick around, so I will also leave.
Nigel, what do you and Montgomery do? Montgomery is probably still talking about that time he charged the hill, and your attention is looking up while he's still, living in the past. What do you say to Montgomery?
One hand, aiming the gun at the stairs. I guess he's gonna put a hand on Montgomery's shoulders and say, It's been a good long while since I've seen your saber in action, sir, but, something's up there. We may need to use it again. I'll follow your lead.
Yes, you take point, Nigel. I put my full faith in you. Yes, I will be right behind you.
My pleasure.
Do you go to the stairs?
Yes, at one.
It's dark up there. Just faint bits of light coming in through those boarded up windows. And you see the bent shape of an old man with a long white beard. He looks emaciated and thin, dragging a wasted limb, his left leg, behind him. He opens his mouth, a toothless smile, his eyes glazed over with white. She's a god, the Lady of the Cold. Without her, everything breaks, you see. And his smile broadens. The boy was not pure of heart. We did the ritual, as we always do, but the boy was not pure. That is the only explanation. She can see through that. Oh, yes, she can. And he begins to laugh maniacally. And this is where we will end the session. Awesome. Woo! What a cliffhanger.
I thought he might be someone nice that we could rescue or something, but no.
Let's go ahead and talk experience points here. So again, there's the questionnaire. I'm going to go ahead and read that for us. Where is it? It's never in a spot that makes it easy to find. Oh, here we go. Did you participate in the session? That's a yes. That's 1. Did you confront any Vaesen? No.
What about the little ones?
That was last session. When you confronted them.
Oh, okay.
And you already got credit for that. Did you identify a previously unknown Vaesen? No. Were you affected by your dark secret? That was probably yes for most of you in this session. Did you take risks to protect other people? And I'll let you answer that for yourself. Have you learned anything? And you all did learn quite a bit about the Sigrid Magnusson. Did you develop something in your headquarters? You did. You did that last time after we had done the experience point, so that's a yes. And did you perform an extraordinary action? I think Nigel, his ferrying of men and material across the frozen lake, that was definitely extraordinary. So I'll let you assign those experience points to yourselves, and then if you have 5 or more, it costs you 5, you can increase a skill. The skill maximum is 5, or you can take on a new talent as well.
Would you say Dagmar performed an extraordinary action by having been crushed in the genitals and still managing to kill her man?
Yeah, so actually, everyone that killed someone for the first time, that's an extraordinary action.
Yay!
Absolutely. And then questions for the castle. Did you play at least one scene? Yes. Did you encounter a new type of Vaesen? That's no. Did you visit a place of magic? That is yes. Were you subjected to magic? That's yes. Did you bring occult books or other important items back to headquarters? That's yes. Did you make important contacts? That's Sigrid. That's yes. Was the mystery particularly difficult? No. Did you solve the mystery? I'm going to say no. But that's 5 improvement points for the castle. And so we can actually get an improvement on the castle if we want.
Ooh.
So we got 5 there. Let's do your improvements first, and then we'll talk about the castle. Does anyone have enough to get an improvement?
I do.
You want a skill or a talent?
And how much is it for talent?
5. 5 for a skill
Okay.
or 5 for a talent. And the highest that your skill can go up to is 5.
I added 1 to close combat.
Perfect. I think you learned something today about close combat, so that would make perfect sense.
Might do the same actually, because I think I think Dagmar's just learnt something else about close contact combat as well.
Oh yeah, you need to see if you can buy a cod piece or something to protect your genitals for next time. How about Montgomery? Did you have enough to get an upgrade?
Yes, I'm just looking through the talents.
What about Ilsa?
I was looking at the Sixth Sense talent.
Nice. Is that under occult or is that general?
It's general.
Let's take a look at that one. Talents, general, Sixth Sense. When making an investigation test, you may spend extra successes to learn if a Vaesen has been in the area. Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Find out what kind of Vaesen and find out if magic has been used. That would be super helpful here, for sure.
That's what I was thinking.
You want to take that one?
Yes.
Okay, I can put that on your sheet. Sixth Sense, and then just deduct your 5 experience.
Thank you.
Nigel, did you take something? Did you have enough?
Yeah, he took the pugilist talent,
Ooh.
which increases unarmed damage by 1.
Excellent. And I think when you make an unarmed attack, let me see, if you make a close combat roll, does it offer to add that talent? Yes, it does. You can then highlight pugilist, and it will add that damage to it. Nice.
Oh, cool. Yeah, very
Excellent.
nice.
Yeah. And Freya, did you take something? Oh, you did. You took close combat.
Yep.
Montgomery, do you know what you're going to do? And if you still need time, we've got a week before.
Yeah,
we
I may read through these and
Okay.
choose one.
Yeah.
Peter.
If we look at the castle, is there any? We can upgrade facilities. We could get like. Let me see what we have. Let's see. Because some things have prerequisites. So we have a library, a botanical garden, a butler, and we have our gardener, Eric. So we could get a butterfly house. We just need to have a botanical garden. A player who spends a scene in the botanical garden heals 2 mental conditions. We could also get a carp pond. You gain an extra advantage before a mystery. You get unwavering calm. We could do... Nope, we don't have a doctor. We have the resources. We don't have the points to get an infirmary. If we get a gamekeeper, or we don't have a hunter. If we get a gamekeeper, we could get a kennel.
Mm.
We have the library.
What's in that?
Right? There's a local tavern. This would just be somewhere in the area that we become friends with, and you can one player character per level can gain +2 to their physical recovery roll. We could get a map room to get an extra advantage before a mystery. We could get a seance parlor. You can hold a seance before a mystery and gain access to additional clues.
Would be really cool for Ilsa to
That would
have
be
that.
really cool. There is the Annals of the Society. At the end of a gaming session, a player can record the party's experiences, granting each player character 1 additional experience point. That would actually be really useful.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a workshop. There's also some discovered facilities. There's a cellar vault that lets you store items. There is a chapel which you can push all mental recovery rolls. So the recovery rolls, that's to like if you're trying not to have a permanent condition.
Could be handy.
Could be handy for sure. If we get the occult library, we can get a forgotten gallery. There's a gymnasium that lets you heal a physical condition. There's the occult archive, but we have to have an occult temple first. There's an occult library, which we can now get. You just have to have an occult book from a mystery, which we do now have. And then it's you discover that one of the library's bookcases echoes as if hollow. And once per mystery, a player character can gain a free success on a roll for locating or understanding occult knowledge. The player must state what information you recall.
Would be really handy for researching.
Mm-hmm. There's let's see. We could get some more some contacts. There's a banker that lets you increase your resources by 2 for the duration of a scene. There is a journalist, which provides additional clues. So you could, contact the local paper, and they might be able to fill you in on information. You could make friends with the police constable, friends with a professor, that lets you understand information in Uppsala. There's a psychiatrist. We could get a chef that cooks fancy dinners. Yeah, all sorts of cool stuff. Anything anybody has a keen interest in picking up today?
I feel like the library or the seance room, maybe?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, but it's between those two for me anyway.
I'm thinking like that. We have a library. We get the occult. Was it the occult library or the occult? Yeah, the occult library or the occult seance room. So the occult library, once per mystery, you get a free success on a roll for locating or understanding occult knowledge. And then the seance parlor, you can hold a seance to gain additional clues. What would we like?
Maybe the seance?
Seance parlor? That just sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It does.
Alright, that is facilities. Let's add a seance parlor. Nice. And that costs 5. So that'll take all of our development points, but now we have that available. Send that to the chat. Awesome.
Oh,
Very good.
spooky music just
I know.
then.
That's awesome. Wonderful. Any questions about the session, about kind of the story as it's been building, or about this mess that we're currently in before we break for the week?
I just ask, so the 3 physical conditions that I've still got, I can't heal any of those through the usual courses until we get back to the castle.
No, you can heal from those. So what the healing that was just done for you now, that was to make you unbroken. If
Yes.
she had gotten additional successes, it would have healed some of those conditions as well. But you still have the means to, let me see what page it's on. 71. So to heal physical conditions, so it takes a day. You can use medicine
Right.
in a safe location to heal 3 conditions per success. You can also do a scene. This is describe a scene together like we've done before. That's not just
Yes.
for mental. That can be for physical conditions, and that can be once per day. So you could do a
Okay.
scene with someone, maybe when you find a safe place, maybe in one of those boathouses, where you could heal from those conditions.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep, but otherwise you've got those 3, plus
Yeah.
plus 2 mental. Boy, you're in a bad way.
Yeah, she's in a bad way. I think the minute that Freya and Ilsa came out that door, she was like, she threw herself at them and was like shaking and hugging them, and it's very obvious she's in a bad way.
Did the thought of going and lighting a fire on the shoreline, did that cross your mind? Like, are you at that point
Already?
yet? Yeah.
Oh no, I think I'd completely forgot about that. I think in my mind I'm still thinking about giants or krakens, and that's when we would light the fire.
Yeah. There's an unnatural cold here. You've seen people resorting to cannibalism, and then some crazy old toothless guy talking about the Lady of the Cold, and that the boy was impure, whatever that might mean, but it sounds ghastly based on what you've seen. This certainly isn't a pleasant, welcoming town. And whatever problems that Olaf Dahl had sent you here, it's much more severe than just the harbor is iced up. Any other questions? All right, let's put a bow on it. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. I'll get this uploaded tonight, and I am thrilled to see where this goes next week. It's going to be tough. I'm not saying make backup characters, but just kind of start having some in mind, just in case. Just in case. You don't need to make one, but just like if something were to happen to my character, who would I bring in? This is going to be probably the most dangerous situation you will have faced in a game of Vaesen, run by me anyway, to this point. So
Tina comes to the realization that the death of a tween is going to be quite emotionally difficult.
Right?
Oh dear.
Awesome. Well, on that note, let's go ahead and sign off, and I will see you guys next weekend.